Welcome back to the True Gamer Podcast, a podcast hosted by two gamers for you, the true gamers.
True.
I'm one of your hosts, Eddie, along with my bro, the inverted gamer himself, Sheps. How's it going, bro?
It's going good. You nailed that intro.
I did nail that one.
Yeah.
We might have recorded something else, and maybe I didn't get on the right one.
Yeah.
Maybe I said chancer instead of cancer.
You're just throwing out randoms. That's just a possibility,
Hypothetically. Let's see what happened right there. But yes, bro, we are back for another episode of the True Gamer Podcast. There's been a lot of True Gamer Podcasts because there's been a lot of gaming going on recently.
There has been.
The consoles, Cyberpunk's coming up. Every single game that dropped as well. There's been a lot going on. How have you been, by the way?
Yeah, good. I mean, I don't have my PS5.
Yes.
And we cannot seem to get a hold of one.
Did you see today that I tried to get another one for you as well?
Yeah.
And didn't make it.
No.
I was in a fat queue. It was again, I missed out on Amazon, even though I had it in my basket. It said select card, failed. Do I get select card? Failed. And then I went to Very. I got up to Very, wouldn't let me put it in the basket. I got into game, sat in an hour-long queue, only to get to the end and be like, sold out, bro.
Yeah.
Nothing is going our way,
No.
And I feel for you. But don't worry, we're going to have the Gamers Against Cancer stream that's happening.
We will.
Probably around about the time this podcast goes out.
Wait, that's a terrible time to put this podcast out.
Unfortunately, the thing is, when do we put it out? Do we wait until Tuesday? When the event is over?
That's a really good point.
Should we?
But then we're out a whole podcast. But then they've had a day of streaming.
Only thing I was thinking is that we put it up, but not do the premiere. We just put it up as a thing, like that's it, for one episode.
I kind of like the premiere thing.
I like them as well.
I think they're cool,
them as well.
plus the live chat.
This is funny because they'll know by the time it happens.
Yeah, we will have decided. Yeah, we haven't decided.
We'll think about this and we'll get back to you. We might be there right now. We might not
could be. Yeah, who knows?
Who knows right there.
But if this goes up before or somewhere in the stream, then you need to head over, once you've finished listening to this and given us all the likes and subscribes and upvotes and everything and the watch time, you head over to patreon.com/conversations and give us all your money. And then, whatever money's left, you head over to the Gamers Against Chancer stream. Whoever's streaming today, it's Saturday, right? So that should be us and Ethan.
Yes, us and George.
Us and George.
Yes,
there's
George
too many people in this community with too much talent.
Get rid of that Wames guy. Get rid of that
The
Kangaroo
least
Jack
talented
guy.
of the Welford brothers.
And they'll be great.
But if this goes out, I was going to tell you about it, but if it either goes up on the day or afterwards, so hopefully you have no money to give us because you've given it all to an even better cause. You've given it all to a good cause.
Yeah, so if you're watching this, and this is around about the time that the Gamers Against Cancer stream is happening, we're running a cancer charity event where we're going to be streaming video
Raising
games.
money for cancer. We're pro-cancer over here.
We are pro.
Yeah.
I don't want to finish that sentence. We're raising money for breast cancer research.
Yeah.
If you have missed any of the streams, or if it is going on, so you can check the links in the description. I'll put something there if it's applicable, and you guys can head over there, watch some gaming, at least share the stream so you can get some awareness going, so we can get more people into this. It'd be a good time. It's a good time.
Lastly on this, because then we'll get into some lighter-hearted, just gaming stuff.
Yeah.
We're aiming for £15,000.
That is the goal.
And I don't want to be that guy.
I feel like you're going to be.
I think we're going to smash it.
Oh!
I think we're gonna rock it.
The old switcheroo. I thought you was going to be Sheps, the old Sheps, where it was like, we're not doing it.
I think, and bearing in mind it's only 4 days.
Yes.
I think we might wreck that goal. I really genuinely believe it. It's an incredible cause with, as much as we give them shit, at least Ethan and George are high quality content creators.
Exactly. Yes.
The other two are also present. I think we could really do this thing, and it's such a cool thing. And doing YouTube, is our hobby.
Yeah.
We like to make content. The main thing is we wanted to build a community and stuff. I didn't think we'd be fighting cancer.
That is a turn of events, right?
Right. It's the proper radioactive spider bite moment.
Yeah.
I'm sticking to the wall. I wasn't expecting it.
I mean, I'm with you on that. It's like you set out to start off making entertaining content, at least what you think is entertaining.
Yeah.
And you start off thinking, no one's going to find me funny.
Yeah.
And then some people do find you funny.
Yeah.
And now we've turned around and we're part of a big charity organization,
crazy, isn't it?
helping raise money for cancer, helping people in the way we can. Crazy. Absolutely
It
crazy.
is crazy. On that note,
Yes.
of crazy things,
Yes.
we have, prior to actually, one even before that note,
Go ahead.
everybody's been stroking my ego, at least on Twitter, by retweeting their like most listened to podcasts.
Yeah.
And we're in a ton of top fives, a surprising amount of top threes, and quite a few. There's a few where we're like 1 and 3 or 1 and 2, and our competition is steep. Like we were, I think it was Casper Coral had us up there. It was us or Colin Moriarty. It was Sacred Symbols or the True Gamer podcast.
Yeah.
Those were his like number ones.
One of the guys, I can't remember who it was, also listens to Michael Rosenbaum's
Yes.
thing. He's an actor.
He was in.
We're up against
Smallville.
Hollywood.
We are up against Smallville. He has had on his podcast, possibly one of the most talented. The only person I will say that I really think has truly played Superman, Tom Welling.
Yeah.
And I know that's going to rank a lot of ruffle a lot of jimmies and some feathers. And I love, by the way, I do love Henry Cavill as Superman, but he plays an alien combat guy, right? Whereas Tom Welling plays Clark Kent, who's the real character.
Yeah.
That guy.
He's had Tom Welling on his podcast.
Right. Along with so it's freaking incredible. And we have you to thank over on patreon.com/Conversations, our super bros,
yes,
our Conbro patrons who made this happen, who make all of our videos across all of our channels, who keep the lights on and the gaming going. Over here at Conversations, who do we have to thank?
Those people are Diogo Dildo, Isak the Ultimate, Carol of Riviere, aka Catsper the Friendly Patron, Record Friction, Dan the Man, Jeremy Renner, that's right, an official Avenger, Marty Scorsese's Master H Barts 12, the Midget Aloy from Smallville, Sabine, Super Sus Ben Fryer, the Star Wars Encyclopedia Adam Sunling, and the Gamer of Gaming Shire, Dave Bindis. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights, the mics on, and the gaming going here at Conversations, guys, right there.
That's the November list.
Oh no, sorry, it's November, but I checked them all to make sure they're correct for December.
Did
I?
Did you say everybody? I feel like there's one on there that you didn't say.
Did I miss anyone out there? Oh, sorry, I did. I did miss one. Master Chief himself, Albie Scorry. I didn't say.
I was like
Master Chief himself, Albie Scorry.
I was like, I see Master Chief there. I would have heard. Trust me, I would have heard Master Chief.
Sorry if I missed that one.
Spider-Man. Why don't we just play Start Halo?
I don't think that's a thing we should do. I don't think that's a thing we should do.
We can play on Legendary. We'll play on the hardest setting.
I'm not subjecting myself to that. No, thank you.
Are you kidding? One of the greatest games of all time. I know so many lines from that game, by the way. Like, you know how you quote. You know you can quote stuff. Like everybody knows a few like Lock, Stock, or Snatch quotes, right? Or I don't know, just like, some quotes. You know
that I'm one of those morons that my brain holds quotes
I know you do.
For stupid things.
Yeah.
Not necessarily my favourite thing. Just, you'll be like, oh, like the time they said in that really old movie in this thing, and it's not even a good movie. Just
I bet you know that whole thing from like Uncharted, Smokeless Fire.
I mean, I may know that, but that's only because it's been drowned into my head by Adam Sunling. I just constantly...
By the way, there are 2 commands now to get that to pop up. So, anyway...
Yes, thank you, Super Bros, for keeping the lights and mics on, the gaming going here. You guys are all awesome. We barely lost anybody in the transition to December, even though we've stopped the Conversations cover thing, which is absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that.
People really like that.
Yes.
And so, the reason I'm bringing it up, because I know we talked about it last week.
Yeah.
People are still getting them, having seen them on Twitter, and then getting the physical thing, have tweeted us saying, this is incredible. Yeah. Having already seen what they were going to get, they get it and are even more impressed. And that, I wasn't ready for people to like it as much as they did. I was not ready for people to really know what they were getting, and then like it even more than that.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy.
I wrote it down here to give a shout out. The international boys are now getting their ones. They're the people that we're seeing at the moment. They're loving it. Thank you so much for the support. I'm glad all you guys are enjoying it and whatnot. And back to what you said about the podcast thing as well. A number of you guys tweeted us pictures of your top 5s and the most listened to podcasts like that. Aussie.
Like 1,000 minutes. It's a lot of time.
Ridiculous amount of time. It was ridiculous. I was like, wow, you've by far and away got the platinum trophy there in listening to us. But a lot of the guys as well, like the guys on our Super Bowl list, they listen to it on the Patreon podcast feed, so it doesn't count.
Yeah.
But I want to give a shout out to them as well, like Ben Fryer. I know he's religious. every time we post up the thing, it's like if there's a joke that I know at like 40 minutes, it's like 40 minutes past, he's told me, that funny thing you said in there. He's always there. So thank you, bro, so much. Thank you, everybody who tweeted us pictures. Thank you, everybody who's got their combo plation stuff. We love you. It really means the world to us, and it makes us super happy. Super happy.
Yeah. Look, we talk about the Patreon and stuff a lot because we're trying to shill it.
We are, yes.
But
we're bastards. That's what we are.
Right.
Oh, this whole time we're like, aha, we got you.
Gotcha.
This was what we were all along. Right. Pull off the mask.
It was you, greed, all along. We always set out, like we actually physically had that conversation. If we're going to do YouTube again.
Yeah.
Like forget trying to. Growing's important, but like forget that. Let's just build the community, and we smashed that. And then we joined the 4 pillars, like we're in that Venn, the overlap.
Yeah.
And we have like our own section of that. It's freaking awesome.
It is great.
I'm always not surprised because these guys don't surprise me anymore. Like I'm.
It's kind of like imposter syndrome. Is this us? Do we deserve this?
Have you ever been somewhere where it's so pretty that you kind of get almost not bored of pretty views, but you're just like, well, which way am I supposed to look? Over there, oh look, a gorgeous sunset. Over there,
so
look at the
beautiful.
mountains. Right. It's one of those things where you kind of like not numb to it, but like I'm not surprised anymore by how surprised I get by the stuff that these guys do, if that makes any sense.
It's like when I look at Judy Alvarez, I'm like, where do I look? It's just all beautiful.
It's all perfection.
It's all perfection.
Did you see my comment on that video, by the way?
Yes. Did you see? So let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff of what
Let's do some actual gaming talk. We're only... Oh, no, because we did other stuff plus outtakes. We're like 10 minutes in.
We're okay. What have you
Probably
been playing
more
anything recently? Any video games have you been playing recently since the last week?
Obviously,
Obviously, you're a little bit more limited because, one, you forgot to take the game that you was going to take last week to keep you occupied.
Yes, I did forget.
And also, you don't have the PS5, so
I don't.
you're still on the PS4.
Yeah.
Is there anything you're playing, though?
keep meaning to grind out the... you have to get to a certain gear score before we can do the raid in
Ghost of
Tsushima Legends. But, like, you're not really playing it, so it's... And I'm not trying to, like... I'm not saying, oh, you'd play... But, like, you know when we started playing Division 2?
Yes.
I never jumped on without you.
Yeah.
Because you were at the top level, and you were looking to do the raid, but there were obstacles. Same kind of thing where I'm at a higher level, I want to do the raid, but there's kind of some obstacles, and without you there... I mean, I jam with Rob every now and then, but we don't do that hard, like, right, we're going to hit the raid grind. So I'm kind of playing that, and I still love it. And I still think Sucker Punch needs to come up with 1v1 duels. And I'm not joking.
You're listening, we know.
We know, of course you're listening.
This is the top gaming podcast. We've seen it on many people's lists.
It's on Twitter, it's all over Twitter.
Exactly.
1v1 multiplayer duels with a leaderboard. And there's tons of different ways to do it. They've got all more than enough dueling circles and potential places that they could set it. So you could have like 20 different backgrounds to the fight.
All right, yeah.
I think that would be huge. I think it would add this layer of of multiplayer that it's currently missing. It's currently PvE only multiplayer, but with the idea of like, imagine this. Imagine you play through one of the regular games and you blame your samurai guy for losing that round. You're like, you didn't do this thing, you did that, frick you, right? Back in the days of COD.
Yeah.
And the guy can be like, well, 1v1 me then. And you can 1v1 him, and then you can murder him. And then let's say I would add this, that the loser is unable to stop 10 messages coming in. So you can send for the next 10 days, one a day, you can be like, fucking told you, look, bitch.
See, I won. Bitch.
Yeah.
Bitch ass bitch.
Yeah. You're a bitch.
Just
It
variations.
smell like bitch in here.
I say just variations on the word bitch.
Yeah. That's how I would do it. It's probably a bit too much, but
Maybe not in the scope of Sucker Punch, you know. This might not be good for our image.
But maybe like just the 1v1 with the leaderboard.
Yeah.
At least you can like compare to your friends' scores and
That's
like your
something as
enemies.
well.
Yeah.
I would normally what I would say prior to Legends coming out, I would say impossible.
Yeah.
It's a single player game. Why would you do that?
Yeah.
But then they came out with a mother trucking like MMO type thing inside it, where it's like
cool.
well, not MMO. But they came up with a whole multiplayer co-op system with a raid on the side, and I'm like, well, I mean, this should be possible, right? I'm from a true fan right here. Come on.
So what have I been playing? That, and because I'm very sensible, I'm gonna borrow Which game did you think I was going to borrow from you?
I think you said it, didn't you?
I might have told you, but there were two we were talking about. Which one was one you thought I was going to borrow?
Red Dead Redemption on 2.
Yeah.
Online. Red Dead Redemption 2.
Because I'm so sensible.
Yes.
I'm going to take Red Dead 7 days before... Wait, 6 days... Some small number of days.
6 days from today, yeah.
6 days before Cyberpunk comes out, I'm going to take Red Dead.
I was going to say...
With no time in the week, because I also plan to make a video.
I've been talking to people on like in our Discord and stuff like that, which you guys can join, by the way, by clicking the link in the description.
That's
right. And I talked to them and they're like, oh, I just don't want to get into anything because it's too close to Cyberpunk. And you're like... Red Dead. Yes, Red Dead. That's the one. That's the one I'm going to do.
And not Spider-Man, which is relatively short,
10 hours,
highly acclaimed, with a Miles Morales next-gen DLC for me right then and there when I finally get the PlayStation. Not that. No. The game that's just been left to rot by...
by my Rockstar.
Yeah. Like, look, if I understood me, I wouldn't be in this situation, would I? I would know my own problems and I would have solved them. And, the next president of the United States, I'd be in the running for it, wouldn't I would have fixed it. I'd be a billionaire by now. But no, I have these issues. I got problems. And for some reason, I wanted to try that instead.
That was put perfectly, I have to say.
fully well knowing I'm never finishing it before Cyberpunk comes out. Yeah. And once it comes out, I'm never going back to it. That's the worst bit. I know I'm not coming back to it, but I guess I want to experience it.
I want to know what the guys think of this, because they were annoyed that you hadn't played Spider-Man and that you hadn't played Red Dead Redemption 2.
The not playing Spider-Man thing surprised me as much as it surprised you, though.
That was so strange, and the way we stumbled on it, how it was like, I had spoken about it, you'd seen lots of screenshots online, it's Spider-Man. Of course I've played it. Wait, actually I haven't played it. That threw me off. I didn't know how that happened.
Even the bit with like when you were like, Aunt May dies, and I was like, hold on, Aunt May dies. And then so in my head, this is the best bit. I'm remembering the Sam Raimi trilogy where Green Goblin comes through the window.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh yeah, maybe she does die.
You're like, wait a minute, hold on.
No, hold on. I'm sure I didn't play that.
But what I want to know is, what's going to piss people off more? That you hadn't played Red Dead Redemption 2, or that you're going to start Red Dead Redemption 2,
knowing full well I'm not finishing,
and then just drop it to the side, and it's like, there you go, gone, nothing else. What's going to piss you guys off more? Tell me.
Yeah, that will be. We should just make that a Twitter poll. We should make it a poll or Patreon thing.
Yes, let's do it.
Don't ask me why I am the way I am, because the answer is I don't know.
I don't even want to know. I just want you to be here so I can witness it. That's all I want.
Yeah. This, of course, is the True Gamer Podcast.
Yes.
And it was made possible by cyberbullying.
By cyberbullying, exactly.
Toxicity at its deepest levels on the internet. People bullied us at the $5 and above tier on patreon.com/conversations. They said to us, you're nothing, you're scumbags. Take our money, you filthy YouTube shills, and make this product for us, or else... and those people we want out to the authorities because of course they are degenerates and villains at the highest level.
Please help us, authorities. These are the people: Jeremy Horde, Record Friction, Diogo, Isak Mani, Adam Sunling, Dan, Real Cinema, Catsper Coral.
I love that so much.
Sab2557, David Bindis, The Ultimate Audio Virgin, Albiscory, Hooded Dude, Cobra SS, Ashton is not happy that Matt Platinum's Odyssey, Benedict Klobbers, BVS is amazing. Oh, do you see? That's great. That is amazing there. Yeah. Max H and Fishy. Thank you, bro, so much for keeping the lights and mics on and the gaming going here. That's Josh, by the way. He loves Batman vs Superman just as much as we do. So yeah, that's right.
I will flat out say, unless you're watching the extended version, this is the worst thing because people say, "Look, oh, you got to watch the extended version of like the Lord of the Rings."
Yes,
and I'm like.
I did.
Yeah.
I did, and I did it by accident. And I hated every freaking second of it.
But like Batman vs Superman is a totally different movie to Batman vs Superman Extended Cut. They are different movies, and it's like 20 minutes longer, the Extended Cut. That movie's worth your time.
And you guys will find out when it comes to Movie Club next year.
That's right.
Because we're going to be doing the Justice League one, I'm sure.
Where is Justice League? That's going up on like Hulu or Stars or something.
HBO Max, And the thing is that I don't know what you would do if you was in the UK. However, the new Wonder Woman movie is going up on HBO Max.
Oh, I'm not paying for it, though.
This thing, they said they've worked it out where like they're going to put it up on Sky. So I'm guessing that might be the same thing when it comes out. Okay. But however it works out, we'll get it and we'll be able to...
We will
enterprise young men on the...
Yeah, the free enterprising sailors, we can find some stuff. Or, like, I would love to just jump on HBO Max or whatever it is.
Yeah. It's the UK, we can't.
It's the UK. Don't you have a VPN? Maybe we could do that.
Yeah, you could do
But the
VPN,
problem is then you need an American address and stuff.
Yeah, you need an American card as well. It just gets messy from there on out, and it's just way easier to torrent things.
Yeah, exactly. This is the thing. It's the same with like The Mandalorian. I watched all of the... I flew to America to watch all of The Mandalorian before it arrived here in the UK, which is exactly how I did it, and definitely didn't torrent the entire thing.
No.
Actually,
I'm caught up on Mandalorian, by the way.
Which is good because... What definitely didn't happen is you torrented all of The Mandalorian, sent it to me, I watched it, and you didn't.
That was strange. That was a strange turn of events.
See?
I didn't touch it.
Like, you didn't, and like not at all. And I was raving about it. It's really good.
It is really good. And I love it a lot.
And that makes me not feel so bad about forgetting somehow to play Spider-Man, but thinking I had, and having discussions about it.
It's essentially the same thing, isn't it?
How did I never once clock? Like, and that's the thing. I think you can probably find the moment where you say, yeah, when they killed Aunt May, and I was like, yeah, it's a big move. And
I love the funny thing that happened when I started watching The Mandalorian. The season 2 had started, and it was like I think episode 2 came out, and it was like 2 days afterwards. And I watched episode 3 of season 1.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, episode 3 of The Mandalorian was amazing. And everyone's like, oh my god, is it out? Is it out? And I'm like, loser.
Gotcha. I'm a year behind.
I'm sorry, guys. But it was good to binge watch it all the way.
Yeah, it's a good show.
Anyway, games that I'm playing, that I've been playing so far.
Nice, clean segue.
That was a good segue.
You asked me the question, I answered it cleanly, concisely, and then returned the question back at you. So, Ed, what games are you playing right now?
Well, it's glad that... thank you for asking.
Yeah. Polite.
My favourite co-host.
Yeah. Your favourite co-host.
Only co-host. Yeah. I like it in here.
Pickens.
I like it in here. So I've been playing actually a lot. I've been playing a lot so I can get it all out of the way until Cyberpunk comes out. The 3 games that I got, 4 games I got at launch were Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah.
I got Spider-Man Miles Morales, Demon's Souls, and Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War.
Yeah. Don't forget, you also platinumed Astro's Playroom.
That's true.
Have you played much of Bugsnax?
Not much since we played them.
So how are you doing?
But what I did, I platinumed Astro's Playroom.
Yeah.
Fantastic, loved it. Everyone should play it. It comes free with the PS5 anyway. Played Miles Morales, platinumed that as well. That was again a fantastic story. And actually, my opinion is that this Miles Morales is on the level of Into the Spider-Verse level of Miles Morales. At least the character and whatnot.
Yeah.
And it was a decent story what they put into it for like a very short story and whatnot. Very good stuff. Highly recommend it.
How do you feel about the price of Miles Morales for the value, you know?
There is enough game there to justify the price.
Okay, good.
But a lot of it is optional stuff.
Okay.
So if you look at my clock, I haven't looked at it, but I'm sure it's around about 15-ish hours, something like that, which is enough to justify that price. Okay. Even though it has got the inflated...
And,
Exactly. It's got... The quality is amazing. It's perfect. Yeah. And for a standalone game on the side, it's amazing. And it's also got the inflated price of next-gen prices right there, which made it look worse. I think it's worth the money. However, if you're the kind of guy that just goes straight through the story and nothing else and wants to skip everything and whatnot...
Like me. You mainline the story, no side content, never get sidetracked.
You're known for that, yeah.
That is true.
You're known for exactly opposite to that.
Yes, I am.
If you're the guy that only does a story, then you're not going to get your money's worth out of this. But then again, that's a choice you've made, so I don't know how to argue against something like that.
I also think you could probably wait 6 months and it will come down to like a more reasonable price secondhand.
Exactly. The only thing, and this is kind of what all Sony games are now doing, it's impossible not to play these games at launch because everybody and their mother is talking about it. Everyone's posting pictures online and they're the most amazing photo mode pictures ever.
Especially, quick sidetrack to pimp the Discord. Our Discord is it's free, it's genuinely on the coolest place on the internet to hang out. We have one room, which I'm going to take full credit for making.
You do,
show and tell. Mm-hmm. The boys over on our Discord are surprisingly serious when it comes to photo modes.
They're proper photographers in game.
genuine talent, like real talented, and the level of the stuff, because obviously I follow some of these guys that comes out that I see on our Discord and on Twitter. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah.
These guys are so talented, and these pictures look so good. And I agree with you that like the only thing that is stopping me playing Miles Morales is not having a PS5.
Exactly. And when it comes, you can borrow my one. And whatnot.
Yeah, it's going to be my second. I would probably have finished Cyberpunk a few times.
You think? Okay.
Probably.
So I played that, and that's fantastic.
Yeah.
After that, I have been juggling now Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War and Demon Souls on stream. I've been playing it on stream.
Yeah.
Last night I streamed the second part to Demon Souls, and now it's getting so good. I liked Bloodborne, first type Souls game that I ever played, and I'm really feeling it now in Demon Souls. Okay. The thing is, it's the type of game that appeals to certain types of gamers.
Yes.
I play crushing for all of the Uncharted games and whatnot.
Do you play? No, do you know what? I was going to ask, do you play it on your own time? But I know for a fact you played Grounded with no one watching. This was before we started YouTube up again.
Yes.
So there was no benefit to anyone. No one benefited. No one. From you playing, I think it was The Last of Us 2 remastered on Grounded.
When I got it, it was like...
Last of Us 1 remastered.
It was like, there's a trophy for it.
This is when I realised you had a problem.
Insert the Monsieur Candy gif right here. It's like, well, now you have my attention.
Yeah. This is where I first realised you had a problem, because being a Last of Us fan, and being one of those guys that I search out in what, in my opinion, is the perfect difficulty for a game. So I will play on like easy, far too easy. Play on normal, not digging it. Play on Grounded, a bit much. Okay,
step it down.
Right.
Yeah.
And to where it gets the perfect mix of, okay, I am finding enough ammo for this story to make sense, but not too much that I can just get in these giant firefights, because it's a post-apocalyptic world. These things I need to fear these enemies, but unless it's a boss, I don't have to like
cower from them.
Right? Yeah. And so being that kind of gamer, I know exactly the value of Grounded, which is zip, nothing. There's no, it's not okay.
Yeah, so I'm the kind of gamer that does like to play things on difficulty. In fact, in the presets menu on the PS5, I set it to hardest, because that's the level I like. It's just I like the satisfaction I get from beating something after struggling for so long. And Demon Souls does that perfectly. I forgot how to play Bloodborne because it's been such a long time. And there's like a thing at the beginning where you have to accumulate these things called souls, which is like after you kill enemies, you get souls. And then you use it to buff yourself, and then go back out into the world and come back, buff yourself and go back. And eventually, those little guys become nothing, and then you can fight the big boss.
Right.
And I forgot how to do that, that was the thing.
Yeah.
And in the first stream, I was like, where do I go? What do I do? I feel like I can't beat anybody and whatnot, because I wasn't doing the thing.
Yeah.
In the second stream, I was like, yes, it's all coming back.
I saw you beat the muck boss.
Beat the muck boss, and then I jumped.
Sure I understand.
How dare you, Siri? And then I went on to the big boy Tower Knight, the big boy with the big schlong.
Yeah,
he was. Guy. That was a very challenging match, and everyone enjoyed it because it was so tense. It was like maybe half an hour in one encounter of me trying to dodge a guy, take a slash, come back, dodge a guy, and eventually I ran out of like healing grass. It's called like moon grass. Okay. I call it lemongrass. I'm like
the herb.
It's like, this is lemongrass. Clearly, this is lemongrass. Anyway, so much fun, loving it to bits, and I'm actually loving Call of Duty.
You mean the campaign, yeah?
The campaign. Actually, I'm loving the thing as well, the multiplayer.
Okay.
That's going to be later on. I'll mention that in the question and whatnot. But the campaign is fantastic, purely because of the technical marvel there is. It looks gorgeous, and the 3D audio is perfect. Absolutely amazing. Anyway, all of you guys should go play those games. It's fantastic. And we're doing a lot of gaming recently.
COD genuinely has me interested for the first time in a while.
We thought, remember when we said it was like, 70 quid for COD. 70 pounds for COD.
But then, before it came out, we were both starting to soften on it because they went back to Mason. They went back to that Black Ops 1 style, which we have said for a while, quite a few years, was not only the COD that when we look back on it, we also did the most complaining, but we had the most fun on. It's one of the best campaigns.
Yeah.
And so it looked like they were going back to it, and it sounds like they have.
They really have. It's fantastic. I'm enjoying the story, and they've done something really weird with it as well, where there's this one area where you are every time you pick up missions to... It's like a hub where you guys are meeting.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like Cold War espionage
Yeah,
type things. And you're meeting there, talking with other agents and whatnot. While you're in that room and you go, okay, we're going to do this next, all right, guys? Break. And then you're supposed to go over to the mission board and pick up your mission. If you don't go into the mission board and you follow each one of the people around, they're doing stuff that gives you more insight into their intentions, into what they're doing. And I was like, when did Call of Duty become good? What?
That's cool.
How did they? When did this happen? Out of the blue, they were just like, do you know what? Everyone make good games over there. We're going to make a good game. It's like, what right do you have?
When I finally get my PlayStation,
yes,
if COD's,
in 2022, yeah.
If this COD's still a thing, before I get it, while it's installing, I'm gonna shit talk Von der Haar on Twitter. Mm-hmm. He is still the community director.
I think he is. I mean, what else could he possibly do? I mean, come on.
Who knows?
David Von der Haar.
I mean, I don't see that that's any reason why I shouldn't still shit talk him, even if he's not involved with the project.
Exactly.
He could be working for Sony now. He's still going to get shit for COD. I'm going to get shit for Black Ops 1.
I think he is, because he's got the Cold War logo in his
Forget
thing.
Forget Cold War. I'm giving him shit for Black Ops 1. That's it. I'm going to be like, the FAMAS is overpowered, the hit detection sucks.
Von der Haar,
you need to buff my Olympia.
It's been 7 years, and you still haven't fixed the FAMAS.
That's my first tweet to him.
Oh boy, that's a good trip down memory lane. Anyway, those games are really good. You guys should go check them out. Thank you for listening to my TED Talk. Thank you very much.
Yeah, you're big on... You've been playing Spider-Man. When you played Miles Morales, you played it on the high fidelity, didn't you?
Yes.
You didn't play it performance.
Yes, I didn't. But when I went to... Because I had to play the game again for the New Game Plus trophy to get the Platinum, I did play it on performance. And that was very good as well. But I did play it on fidelity in the first run.
This is going to be an interesting thing, because we're both going to depart from... Previously, it was just you get to play the game.
Yes.
Now, you get to play the game in your high fidelity, and I get to play my game with the high frame rate. Not only that, but look, I think my TV's 1080, or maybe it's not 14. It can't be 14.
No, TVs don't do them. Yeah.
So it's my laptop that's 1440. I think.
Yes.
My TV's 1080. It's nice. I like the size of it. I can't be asked to get a new one. It was cheap when I got it. I'm not going to split.
It's one of those things where it's like, if it works...
Right, exactly. I'm not going to fix it.
What are you going to do? Smack it and break it? Come on.
Even if I had like your OLED thing downstairs, which that thing is gorgeous.
I've been playing a lot of my games down there because it's just me. Go on.
I do often come around and see the PlayStation set downstairs. I would still play it on the frame rate.
Yeah.
That's my thing. So we're now in a position where even when we're playing the same game, we're going to get slightly different
experiences out of it. Yeah.
So I'm going to be interested to see in like saying in 3 or 4 years when I finally get a PlayStation.
Yes.
What it looks like to play the same game as you. You know.
It hurts so much to hear you say that, because people don't realize how badly it hurts me that you didn't get one. Yeah.
So I did make it as a joke, but it is like it's laughter with real tears kind of thing, which is that so both of our consoles now feel hollow because you're not on the PS4 generation and I'm not on the PS5 generation, and that means we're offset to game. And I know, look, a lot of stuff's cross-platform, but it's not going to be any fun playing COD on a PS4 when you're on a... Do you know what I mean? Or against guys on PS5s that can use their full internet, and I'm limited to like 10 megabytes.
Yeah. Anyway, should we get into this week's podcast?
We've only been going for an hour.
Who cares, right, guys? I mean, do you know what? I want to know what people think about that, because I do like the conversation we have, but do people want us to get into the topics first or something like that? You can let us know afterwards. Today's topics include the PS5 selling very, very well in its first 2 weeks.
Yes.
The Game Awards surprises and light predictions. We'll do a little light predictions in there. Red Dead Online getting so much worse.
What? I wasn't expecting that.
You're not ready for this one. A PS5 Pro patent leak. The PS5 dust hasn't settled yet.
I frickin' called it, boys. Did I or did I not call it? You're welcome.
Indicating there might be a multiple GPU unit inside the console. First time ever of its kind. And the topic of the show, which I'd like to start off with, a light little conversation about our expectations of Cyberpunk 2077.
This is nice and light.
I know. This is going to be the only podcast until Cyberpunk comes out. So we have to do something, right? We have to please everyone. So... Cyberpunk 2077.
Why don't you lead this? Because look, you've been making a lot of videos about like, oh, the 5 best weapons or 10 things I'm looking forward to and all this
Yeah.
stuff. Tell me.
So my video that I posted as of today was yesterday.
Yeah.
Sparked from this. I was like, oh, we're coming up to Cyberpunk. Let's put that down in the podcast. Actually, I'd really like to talk about so and so and so. So I put it in a video and put it up there. Because I felt like being a genuine YouTuber for a moment. I was like, I've got an idea. I just want to do it. I'm looking forward to, first and foremost, those 5 things. One of them being, I want to experience the feel of Night City.
Yeah.
I want to, prior to the last 2 gameplay videos that we saw of the Xbox and the PlayStation, all the other videos showed people, showed vendors, showed things going on around in the world. And I was like, I'm going to spend, like, maybe I'll play the story for the first 3 sessions. And then after that, I'm going to be like, no missions, guys. I'm just walking around.
Well, you're able to start from the story at the very beginning. That's crazy. I didn't even know games do that.
Crazy, right? I'm just going to walk around. You're never going to see the story. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
To you, it's just an open world.
Apparently there's greybeards in this game, but I've been all over and haven't found a single one.
I'm going to dedicate a whole session just to walking around and seeing how Night City operates, how the people live in Night City.
Yeah.
As I said in that video, I want to see people get carjacked. I want to see people pick up hookers. I want to see people take those hookers to hotels and then watch those hookers come out of the hotel the next morning. Hopefully that kind of stuff is there. Maybe I'm setting my expectations too high for that. And that is a ceiling right there, I think. I don't think there's anything better than that. But that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for. I'm hoping for that kind of stuff. As well as that, I said I wanted to find out obviously a lot more about Johnny Silverhand. I'm pretty sure we will. That's going to be the main focus of the game. I said as well, the variety of weapons. I can't wait to try them all out. Smart weapons look insane and cool and just so futuristic.
There's footage of some guy like sliding and then shooting his gun over his cover. And
go that. I like the one. It's like almost like 20 mini missiles inside a big shotgun thing. And then just go like that.
It's
so
like those what's the Mandalorian, his wrist rocket things.
And he seems to have, they seem to be completely programmable and completely heat seeking to everyone but him. He just pops it in a room and it's just like takes everyone out. But
sick.
That looks really cool. What else did I mention? The Witcher 3 Easter egg mission that we both came up with.
That's my number 1.
Yes, go ahead.
That's my number 1. So you laid out in the video, which I wasn't actually expecting you to go into that much detail of what we said.
Yeah, I didn't realise I went into all that detail, but I was like, wait, this is like 3 minutes of video.
If you missed that video, you should check it out because the other 5 or 6 points are worth it. It's a very good video.
One of them in particular, Judy Alvarez.
The most important point.
I love how I gave full-on descriptions to everything. Number 3, Judy Alvarez. Whew.
Number 4. I really like that. I thought it was freaking funny. We had this discussion. Did we actually do it on a podcast or this may have been in person?
We had our own discussion. Yeah. We should lay it out for here in case people don't see it, but you should go watch the video as well. Do you want to lay it out?
Feel free.
Okay, so what we said was we think there's going to be some sort of nod to The Witcher 3 in Cyberpunk 2077. It's their game. They know people love it. And we've already seen a few things. Like we've seen Nilfgaard in billboards and magazines.
Which is playing on Nilfgaard.
Nilfgaard and MILF, and it's very funny and very cool and whatnot. But we were saying...
flat out tells Geralt about Cyberpunk. Like, and I've been saying this since 2015. Like, I clocked it. Yeah. Because I was also aware of Cyberpunk.
There's a scene in Witcher 3 where she says...
In the cabin, she says, we were in this world, people had metal in their heads, and everybody could fly.
They didn't ride horses, they rode flying ships.
There you go. And then they did battle from a distance, something like that, right?
And they had weapons that looked like megascopes.
Right, which looks like a gun, basically, right?
Exactly.
And... So it's Cyberpunk, which also makes sense because it's the same house making Cyberpunk and The Witcher, right? And she can go to all these different worlds, and it's fine. And we laid out this mission that we wanted to see where it would be something like, I think you actually laid out the exact idea that we had.
Yeah, it was...
Or maybe which one of us had this idea?
We both sort of came up with something.
We built it together, didn't we? Yeah.
The problem is we're very good friends. We come up with a lot of stuff that we
I think we've actually done this before where we've been telling a story and accidentally told each other's parts. And someone else was there and was like, no, you didn't say that. He said that.
It's the other way. Sorry, we switched bodies. We switched bodies right there.
So that has happened before. But so the general idea was that it would be a side quest.
Yes. You'd be hired to pick up a brain dance footage somewhere. And you don't know what it is, you're just a merc, you've been hired to do something, and there's just a lot of heat on it. People want to attack you for it. You take it back to your client tells you, you ask like, what the hell is it, or something like that. And then they tell you, it's a brain dance recording. But it's something that we just can't explain. And maybe only the most skilled netrunner could possibly find out what it is. And then they hire you to do that.
Yeah, the next part of the mission is you take the BD to the netrunner. I think it would be cool if somewhere in there, depending on what, like if you're a netrunner, maybe you can do the BD.
Possibly.
Right? But if you don't have the skill, then you can't.
Access it somehow. Just sort of be like, let me see what it is because I'm a skilled netrunner right here. Oh, shit.
It would be cool as well. Like that. Okay, so this would be cool. I'm going to add to it.
Okay.
If you're a netrunner, you can go in, and if you explore correctly, you can see Geralt's there. And if you're not a netrunner, you take it to the netrunner, they show you the basics of what it is, and you see Ciri and her disappearing.
There you go.
That would be sick.
That was the footage that we was going to say. So once you'd completed the quest, once you'd gone over to the netrunner, the skilled netrunner that everyone's talking about, they would play the footage for you and you'd be able to see it. And it would be Ciri in this footage, either running away or doing something, fighting people off, but then also disappearing in her way that she does.
Teleporting with that blue light. Right?
Exactly. And because in Cyberpunk, while there are a lot of gadgets, there's no magic.
Yeah, magic isn't a thing.
They're like, what's going on? It must be a corruption. It must be a glitch in the BD.
But only this netrunner is good enough to tell you, no. Whatever happened, this recording is perfect. Something else is going on. Now it could be that this person had a virus in their head and it wiped their vision of this person. But the recording is exactly what was recorded.
Yeah. And then it just sparks this like urban legend of like the white-haired woman, and like we've never seen her before. Is she an AI? Is she this? Is she real? What's going on? And it's just like crazy.
I also want little touches like whatever area she was in, or this recording was taken from. If you go there to Night City, that you hear someone saying like she's become like Night City's Batman in a sense, where they're like, oh, I heard that grey-haired. Or did you hear that like this chick with a sword took out like the local gang members or whatever, right? You're just hearing these and minor things like
people making offerings or something down to the my god, this could be so cool.
But like minor, like if you're not paying attention, you walk past an alleyway, like the alleyway, and down there's like a few candles and some stuff, and there's just like an offering. Or you walk past a couple gangbangers saying like, hey man, I don't want to be out. This is like the time that for whatever name she gets, right? Comes out like it's too much heat for me, right? But you're not, unless you catch it, unless you're wired into it, you don't clock that they're talking about Ciri.
That could be cool right there.
That's what I desperately want. That
I trust the guys at CDPR because they can do this kind of stuff. I mean, they made the Roach mission for God's sake.
So good.
And after I finally understood it, I was like, oh god, here we go. This is great. And got to play it. They will do something. I'm pretty sure of it.
I hope so.
Whether it's what we think it is.
It might be better. Look, if it's better, I'm not going to complain.
Exactly.
You know?
But we're looking forward to some sort of Witcher 3 side mission, substantial enough that it can sustain us.
It just needs to scratch that itch.
Yeah. The Milfgard stuff, great, but
hilarious.
It's not what we're looking for.
Maybe a Cyberpunk with Geralt or Ciri as like a poster where it's clear that they've like come to this world. She's brought Geralt here, right? Because you got one of the two good endings.
Yeah.
And they've just hung out and someone's like, hey, we want you to model this, right? And there's like Ciri doing some cyberware modeling. You know, she's like showing some like cyber arm or some sick gun or like her sword, but like the katana, the heat katana,
the thermal katana. Yeah.
Like
good stuff.
That's my. It sounds so stupid. That's one of my huge things. Just like you though, I want to explore the city, but so I made this tweet. Because there was more footage, like it was a GIF, which I knew the boys on Twitter would love because there was rain. These guys always love the rain.
They love their rain.
And it's basically, you're looking out a car window, driving past and the rain's coming down. Now, it looks gorgeous.
Yes.
Like even the reflections on the streaks of the rain down the gorgeous.
Nice.
Really, really well done. And I tweet out, where are all the people?
Yeah.
Because in this clip, you don't, and it's like 3 seconds, but it's on a street, you should see some people. Now, some people like Wames who have no taste and no talent said, well, they're presumably not standing in the pouring rain. And I kind of take that point, but if you've ever seen like films like Blade Runner, people are still out and about. If you've ever been out in London or New York or LA, if it even rains in LA,
I was gonna say that finish your point.
well, just because it's raining, people don't just stay inside. There's still people that have places to go. There's still people that are going to and from places, waiting for buses, whatever. And I'm really, I can't think of a better word than concerned, but I'm quite concerned that there won't be as much. It will still feel okay, but there won't be as much of that feel of Night City, like that organic thing that sprung up with the ant farm lifestyle.
Yeah.
That you'll go, there'll be plenty of places that's going to be like kind of a ghost town, and that concerns me. But I think there'll be enough that isn't like that, that it's not going to ruin the game. I would just like it to be more Blade Runner than empty streets, you know.
That the thing about the streets being empty or being full, whether it's raining and whatnot.
Yeah.
There's something about rain and still being full of people that is very futuristic.
Yeah.
It's like the future is overpopulated and there's far too many people, and you always have to be doing something, going somewhere, and then the air's polluted and whatnot, so there's always rain and stuff like that. And so people just get on with life and whatnot. That's kind of one of the things. It's also like how the future's always neon, neon lights.
Always neon and also dark and cloudy.
Exactly. And those neon lights, if you really wanted to pick it apart, why is there a neon light over there that's right opposite a building? Those people aren't going to be able to sleep at night.
Yeah.
But that's because it's just a future aesthetic. Yeah. And the rain thing, again, is like people in the rain is a future aesthetic. So it should be there. I want to say that we've seen other videos and other footage of it being with people and whatnot. But this is the latest footage.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to take that as the example.
Right.
And it does make me worried. It does.
The reason it's a big deal for me, and it is bigger than I'm probably putting out, I'm just trying not to let so much negativity out in the world, is we saw from the Night City Wire, where they showed us the different districts. I was so hyped for that because the city, it's like, well, future Tsushima. One of the things about Ghost of Tsushima is it feels like the island's alive.
Yeah.
And they managed to do that really well. And from the Night City Wire, I got that same impression that there's so many different versions, different bits in the city, like Chinatown. There are Chinatowns in places, and they feel different, and it's like organically different. It's obvious because it's this big, it's this concentration of Chinese people and culture sprung up in a city that also are making the most of the fact that it isn't like it, so it's banking on like a bit of tourism and food and stuff like that, right? And that makes sense. And I had that same vibe, like, oh, look, it's like Japantown and stuff, you know. And that felt really good. The problem is that cities don't just build up looking different. Yeah. They spring up because of the people pushing them up.
Yeah.
And, like, there's a mission we saw where Jackie's driving the car and you're shooting at somebody. I think it was the last Night City Wire.
Yeah, I think it was.
And other than the, like, three people
that... PS5 footage?
I think it was. There's like 3 NPCs out on the street.
Yeah.
And they're there because Jackie has to avoid them. And other than them, there was no one out.
Yeah.
And that was really worrying to me because we need to see, and it doesn't even have to be, we're in this weird spot because we said we want the NPCs to have lives. You know, if this NPC's going to the shops, where do they go after? They don't just walk back home and then go back to the shops. They're not constantly doing the same loop. But I would rather have that than no NPCs.
I still go back to the idea that I don't understand. I understand having more NPCs, obviously, and more tax on the console, right? So that might be a reason why it's scaled back. If it has been scaled back, we don't know yet. It's not official. But other games do it.
Yeah.
Other games do it and
GTA 5.
GTA 5, The Witcher does it. There are other games that do it. So I have to assume it's not that big of an issue. I can't imagine that they were like, we're going to do an amazing mission structure. We're going to do amazing AI with our enemies. We're going to do amazing gun physics. But we have to sacrifice on the thing that was done on the PS3.
No one's in the world.
Right?
There's no one here.
I can't imagine that. Anyway, we'll see what happens more about that. Is there anything else that you're particularly looking forward to? Is there any one thing that you're like, I can't wait to handle that?
Yeah, but it's hard. It's not a really good answer to your question, which is there any one thing? And it's the customization. It's the number of different ways I'm able to play the game.
Speaking of that, I bought the pre-ordered the guide, the strategy guide for
Okay.
Not because I need a strategy guide, because I want everything that's Cyberpunk here. And also, if it gives me a little bit of information into something, I'd like it. Then I can make content for it and stuff like that.
If you're thinking about getting cyberware and there's 3, you can flip through the book, fully read what they do and the benefits they give, and then maybe make the best choice for you and make a video about it.
Exactly. And it'd be helpful for like build videos and stuff like that. There was a trailer that just went up just before we started this, and it was on the Cyberpunk page, and they shoot the video from angles that you can't read what it says on there for spoiler purposes, and there's a tree of like situations in a thing.
Yeah.
And the way it goes is like 1 and then 8. And I'm just like, whoa, that's cool. I cannot wait to try all 8 of those. So that's what you're looking forward to. That could be really cool.
I'm looking forward to, like, okay, I'm going to build out a nomad who's like a brute.
Yeah.
Right? And then, I want to build out like a net runner who's all about smart weapons and agility. Right, and then I want to build out a solo, but they're going to be like a sniper, you know, or like a sniper and like martial artist or something. Like they're really good super close and really good super far, but anything in between, they're not your guy. You know, like I want to experience those things. I'm going to play one as female and multiple as female, multiple as male. I'm going to romance this person. I'm going to do this one where this guy or girl is going through every romance option available. Anyone out there that's frickable, they're fricking them.
She's getting it. He's getting it.
Bug them.
I like that.
So, you know, and for the record, I want just about everyone who gets any time. If you have any interaction, like meaningful interactions with them, I want them romanceable. I want Jackie romanceable.
Yeah.
I want if Subaru Arasaka's in there, I want to be able to bug him. You know, like I want to be able to romance everyone. What's that Meredith?
I know
her last name?
She's the Arasaka woman, right?
I think she's Militech.
Militech, yes.
She's Militech. She's a big up corpo. Like
everybody.
You should be afraid of her.
There's 2 people in this world. Right?
I want to be able to bang smash her.
I'm
gonna smash his back doors.
There's 2 people in this world.
Yeah.
There's Judy Smashers.
Yeah.
And then there's Meredith. Good word, I like it.
Thank you.
And then there's people who want to bang Meredith. There seems
all of them.
They're so strange. I don't understand because
all of them.
She looks like someone who would grab you by the stuff and then just go, "What did you say to me? Get in the bed with me." And I'm like, that ain't my life, but you know, mate, all power to you.
Have you guys seen Leon, the Professional?
Yes.
Yeah. You know the Gary Oldman seems like everyone. Yeah. That's who I want to be able to romance. Everyone. And I'm going to go through the game because I did that. It sounds stupid, but I've played Mass Effect multiple times. Mm-hmm. I've romanced all of them. Because like some of the greatest characters, like I'm a guy, obviously, right?
Are you?
I believe so. Yeah.
Just check for me.
And I identify as a starfish, so finding people...
That's fine, yeah.
So the thing is, there are some incredible NPCs. Talking of Mass Effect, I know you haven't really played it.
Yeah, I know of it, I just don't know anything.
My favourite character in Mass Effect, at least 2, Mass Effect, is Mordin, who's this scientist guy. Okay. Really weird, really nerdy, has this weird sense of humour that for some reason cracked me up. And it's like cool to play as a femshep.
Yeah.
That's a weird coincidence.
That's yeah.
and romance Mordin or Garrus, who is like, it's hard to... I think anyone you spend enough time with, so especially the Mass Effect games in particular, because these guys are your crew, it makes sense to me that providing for preferences, like if they're gay and you're like the wrong gender or straight or whatever, like that's fine. Mm-hmm. But like, if you're in that closer proximity for that long, plus under that level of like life and death stress, and you're saving each other's lives, that it's perfectly reasonable for this relationship to suddenly come into fruition. Yeah. Right? The weirdest one, by the way, if you want to play Mass Effect romances, is Jack. Romancing Jack is a strange one. And really good. It's surprisingly good. Jack's this like escaped criminal who's a super powerful, basically a psychic. She's super powerful. But she's like fully tatted up, bald, looks weird, but and I romanced her as male shepherd because I preferred that dynamic because I didn't feel like it would make sense for her to romance femship. So I also like to do, if I'm going to play the game for the romance, because I will often do that. Yeah. I tried to think what makes more sense for these characters, and then I'll build my main character around who I'm going to romance. So I get to play the character, like let's say it's a female corpo solo, right? If that makes sense to romance Meredith, what's her name? I forget her name.
I'm gonna Google her name.
Let's
so
say
we get
Jackie
it right.
then. Let's say Jackie, right?
Yeah.
It makes more sense for me to be like a female solo for Jackie than it would do if I was like
Meredith Stout.
Whereas it might make more sense to be like a male netrunner for Judy, right?
Yeah.
So I like to play the games where I'm planning, okay, who am I going to romance? How does that fit to this character? Like, and there might be 3 potential romance options for like a female netrunner, but that's how I like to play. And then I'm like, okay, so I'm a netrunner, so I'm not going to go with any heavy weapons. That won't make sense. But smart weapons do, or sniper rifles do, right? So, and stealth makes more sense than like running in the front door. So I like to do that, and that is my number one thing I'm most keen for. Number 2 after Siri. I need to see Siri.
Yeah.
What about you? What's your like the thing you really, really can't get away from? You got to experience it.
I need to.
Car customization, of course.
That's a good thing, yeah, definitely. As I said, I do need to. The life is the thing that I really want them to nail, but the different options are going to be something special. And again, we've spoken about it before, and we know it's in the game. Like being able to have different options or things locked out to you, or open up different branches because you're a certain role.
Being locked out of stuff, or having stuff opened up is huge.
That's going to entice me. I'm sure it's going to entice everybody to play this multiple times, just because there's like, but that option. I want that option. What's that option? Give me the option.
I want it to be punishing as well. I want it to be you. Let's say you play your first playthrough as a netrunner, and often in missions there's stuff that's only accessible to you as a netrunner.
Yeah.
And then you play through it again, and that mission sucks because you didn't get to do the thing. You know there's a thing you can't do, and you didn't get access to it. But then you play another mission that was okay, and there's a whole new thing. You're like, this is sick.
Yeah.
And it's all because you were a brute, and you had the gorilla arms that could open that door that you knew was openable, but you have a strength of 1. Hey,
my wrist.
Oh God. Yeah, right? Whereas you... And there's this
Superman, that shit.
And in that, that whole route takes you down this entire different path of like 5 or 10 hours of gameplay and side missions that you just could not have done if you're a netrunner. I want it to, and so it sounds weird, but I want it to be like punishing. I want you to know that this mission was so much better when you were a solo, right? And now that you're a netrunner corpo background, that it sucks.
It sucks.
And that guy that did that cool thing, he hates you. But you really liked him last time. But he hates you.
Hold on a sec. You was cool last time. What's going on here?
That's what I want.
I did want to quickly shout out this fine gentleman who wrote a comment on the last video that I did of the fellow. He you guys might have seen me post this on Twitter. Just a great young man, just fantastic. He's clearly got a good concept on life and what is important and whatnot. He was hurt by CDPR. After I wrote down all the things that I liked, he decided he was going to say this. They removed the subway, removed the bot mission completely, removed Mantis Blade's wall climbing, removed every single ucking third-person cutscene in the ucking game. Completely, there is no immersion. There's no immersion in this game. There is no immersion, just avoidance. This is Anthem all over again. 8 years of them running their mouths. They lied about the release not once, not twice, but 3 times, but four ucking times, because December 10th release won't fucking happen. It's January 2021, pre-order cancelled, and you guys should too. F CDPR. This gentleman was hurt by CDPR.
Yes.
We need to request that he sends us information so we can file a police report. It was clearly rape or something like that. But that guy had some issues with CDPR.
I get it.
This is the thing. There are some things there that a coherent person could put down in a paragraph.
Dude, wall climbing with the Mantis Blades would have been sick.
Would have been great. And we've all said third person would be fantastic, would have been better than first person, our opinion.
But we think it's coming next gen, but in the update.
But we're still looking forward to the game and we want to have fun. This guy's just like, nah, everything, burn it all to the ground. And I would like, if this guy ever sees this video, which you won't because he deleted his comment afterwards and never came back. If you, Diogo told me, he went to go look for it and he's like, it's gone. I was like, yeah, he deleted it, mate. I would love for it to be like, Okay, he doesn't buy the game. The game comes out and it turns out that it's just fantastic without that stuff
yeah.
even. And then it's just he's sitting there in his room, he's like, well, I'm not buying it.
That's the worst thing. I really do worry that a lot of these guys who shit talk the game don't get it because they feel like they've committed to a position and then never experienced the game. And I, for example, I think a lot of people did that with The Last of Us 2.
Yes.
Which was, all this stuff came out, which a lot of it was wrong or misleading.
Yes.
And they committed to this game is shit. It sucks. It's all this. It's all that, and then didn't play it.
Yeah, and have missed out on this.
Or didn't play the Abbey section, which while we both think is too long, and there's some stuff in there that we would change, is also it's still great.
Yeah,
and missed out on this incredible journey.
And now all that's happened is at the Game Awards, they're just going to be like, can't believe it won, can't believe it won this, gosh.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're missing out.
And they miss out. And I am a little bit concerned that people are going to do that with Cyberpunk, where they've committed to this position of CDPR can't be trusted, they're always going to delay, even if they don't delay, it's not going to be good. Like, play it and see. They might be right. It might come out like a buggy mess like Valhalla.
Yeah.
And I don't mean that as an insult to Valhalla. I'm just using
it was a buggy mess.
It's a buggy mess.
Yeah.
And it has other bugs like you can't get your update.
Exactly. I can't. Do you know what? I messaged the little update for you guys because I said I was going to get a refund for it. I messaged the retailer. They said, sorry guys, it's out of our hands. We're just the seller. We don't do anything. I was like, well, you've sold a faulty product, so technically. Anyway, I've messaged Ubisoft support. Not even a word. Nothing. No support right there. Anyway.
Sucks.
That does really suck. I'm still really excited for this game.
Yes.
I don't think anything's going to take down my hype. Nothing can take that. We saw the photo mode that they announced as well, which looks fucking fantastic.
Yeah.
Which is also good because now we can get to see ourselves in certain scenes and whatnot, whereas previously in first person you couldn't. I think this game is going to be great and it's going to light the world on fire. However...
Also, I want to say, because of the photo mode, that leads me to believe next gen's getting a third person update. Because it's
all set.
Camera.
Yeah.
And all they have to do is allow the view all the time. So I do genuinely believe next gen only will get third person next year or the year later.
Yeah.
So
I would say, let me read this before I was going to say what I was going to say, because it would be just going away and coming back. We did ask a couple of guys to write in and tell us what they're thinking, where their hype levels are for Cyberpunk 2077. And Top Bro Ben wrote in, and he goes, part one, the other part was for the Game Awards.
Right.
He goes... So I kind of just want to talk about my excitement for Cyberpunk. For me, it's been really strange, as I was really excited or even planning to play it till July, August. I think it was the Night City Wire about the Life Pass that suddenly something clicked, and I became super excited for this game, as I think we all did.
Yeah.
I was then very hyped for the game, all the way up to when they delayed it the last time. Almost instantly, my hype just disappeared, and I became extremely hyped for Valhalla and the PS5 launch. That's exactly how it happened for me.
That is exactly how that happened.
It was like off a cliff.
Yeah.
And then
Lucky
it was just,
for Valhalla. Do you think maybe they did a deal?
They probably felt sorry for them.
Yeah.
Mate, fucking the Valhalla, they're so lucky.
They would have been so lucky. Especially imagine Valhalla it came out the way it did, a buggy mess.
Yes.
Competing with Cyberpunk, dead DOA, mate.
Yes.
Like that would have been stillborn. This
James would have had no content.
Yeah.
Then on the 22nd of November, I even tweeted saying I was kind of hoping for another delay. Mostly because I do really wish they dropped the previous gen versions and released in March or something, where the full current gen and PC version. Little thing about the update, I'll tell. Remind me afterwards.
Okay.
Please remind me afterwards. I've got something to say about that. But then the very next day, something changed. Not sure what it was. Really, it changed out of nowhere. And I even tweeted again saying, I take back the tweet that I made before. Needless to say, I'm hyped and excited for this game. And now all the way up. And I can't wait to start playing in 9 days, as if he was writing.
9 days.
However, what I kind of wanted to ask you guys is, do you still reserve worries? Which we've mentioned.
Yeah.
We do actually still have worries.
Not enough NPCs, potentially no like real life to the city.
It's strange because like the bigger the game, the more potential things can go wrong, the more potential worries there are. Even as much as we love it, we
I
still
don't have any
think
worries for Ratchet and Clank when it comes to that.
That's going to be great fun.
But while it's going to be great, and I'm going to absolutely love it, it's not even close to what I want for Cyberpunk. You know,
exactly. It's a different thing. It's a different kettle of fish.
Yeah.
For example, all these delays, the gameplay for the consoles with the lack of life in the city, how I think it's going to perform poorly on previous gen, because they actually haven't showed us any footage of it yet.
No. We've only seen PS4 Pro and Xbox One.
Xbox One X.
Xbox One X, yeah.
The more powerful
systems, yeah.
Shit, my God. Especially the day one consoles. I also think that at times the gunplay can look a bit boring and basic. One of those reasons could be I couldn't grip with Fallout 4.
Yeah.
So that's some valid concerns right there, and I think we're pretty much in the same boat as you right there.
On the gunplay and stuff, one thing you have to remember, which is we always see gameplay, 99% of it, the person running that gameplay is a game dev who are not famous for being 1.8 inch dig bic gamer ballers.
Not like us.
Right? And so they're almost, for example, why do I always forget his name? Is it Sung Lee on Twitter, the guy that makes all those awesome GIFs?
Yeah, I forget his name as well, but the guy that makes the amazing GIFs.
They're so good. If you go through who we're following on Twitter, which is open, you can just click, you'll see it.
Yeah.
He makes I think it's PS4 exclusive games, and he makes GIFs of these incredible sequences. You will never see gameplay like that coming out of from the devs. Never, ever, ever. Right? And so while it does look a bit limp and lifeless, honestly, go back and have a look at some of the gameplay that we see for like the multiplayer for Call of Duty. You sometimes see the ads in the ads. It's a guy runs, stops, aims, shoots a guy. There's no slides. There's no quad feeds. There's none of the stuff that you get hyped about when you do it yourself. So I will give it that.
That's a good point. The Call of Duty thing, or like even Fortnite or something like that. When you watch someone play Call of Duty or watch someone play Fortnite, it looks ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's like some people's like sliding, jumping, flicking around and whatnot. The building and things like you look like an idiot. Just stay somewhere and try and shoot some people, bro.
Yeah.
But when you're in it, you're doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
So it's very different. Maybe when you're in it, the gunplay might feel okay.
I think it looks lifeless because it's basically your dad capturing this footage. I'm taking the risk because, for example, Isla won't be able to say that.
No.
Right? Or my kid won't be able to. Maybe we'll be
Your
slower
kid can
and
say
stuff.
that, but not mine, obviously.
Yeah, of course, because I'm her real dad.
Oh my God, that's why he. Oh my God.
So,
Frick. Sorry, I threw you off.
But like, most people's dads do that thing where you give them the controller and they look around, but they're still walking. They're looking up and then looking at their feet. The thing. And those are the guys who they're one step above that typically cap this footage. So I suspect that there may well be a slide into cover mechanic that this guy just doesn't use or doesn't have the coordination to use. So I'm going to reserve judgment on that, which is, I'm normally Mr. Harsh guy, but game dev's not typically known for being game players,
I like how we've both become, we found the equilibrium in the middle. You was always hard F this, that, everything is terrible, close it all down.
We're talking about games devs. There are suits at CDPR, and I'll dig into them if you want.
Which is actually, I'm glad you reminded me, because that's actually something I wanted to mention. So he was saying about how the next gen patches are available and stuff like that. Unfortunately, I think I figured out the reason why the next gen patch isn't available.
Okay.
And it's actually very bad news.
No.
And you might not like CDPR after this, because it's a very bad thing actually.
Okay.
So the next gen consoles are not getting the update for the foreseeable future. We don't know when it's going to be. However, ray tracing and everything is available on PC, but specifically only for the Nvidia cards, the brand new Nvidia cards.
Yeah.
AMD have come out with their brand new cards, and they came out near as makes no difference, a week apart from each other, something like that. So they would have had
AMD cards a bit weaker, but it's perfectly
AMD's
capable.
more powerful.
Oh, really?
AMD's more powerful.
I thought it was the GeForce that was the.
It's only just a smidge.
Regardless, it was like squint your eyes; they're the same kind of.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And if they wanted to, it's not a matter of we had the Nvidia cards before the AMD, so we had more time to work with them. If they wanted them, they could easily speak to AMD and get those cards. The AMD is the same technology as in the PlayStation 5 and the Xbox and whatnot.
Yeah.
The reason why we're not getting a next-gen update is because we're not getting ray tracing for the AMD cards because of an exclusivity deal that CDPR have signed with NVIDIA. The RTX on thing that they've got isn't a proprietary thing that like is super amazing that can only be made by that. They had to make it with the base thing that works on AMD, and then build upon that to make the RTX version.
Yeah.
Which stands to reason that they would have made it, they just didn't. They're waiting for the next gen console, the exclusivity to be up, and then they'll be like, "Here's the AMD version."
Roll out when they have the option to roll out.
That's the reason. Paper. That's the reason why we don't have the next gen update, because they've signed an exclusivity deal.
For when did we? We're 2 years into starting up YouTube again, right?
Yes.
And people still don't get why I'm against Suits. This is why Suits are in everything.
This was clearly like, this wasn't like the development team. They were like, I know.
No, yeah.
Let's hold back the consoles.
It was a freaking suit. Of course it was a suit.
The same reason why Cyberpunk is everywhere is because the budget for this game was very high. And then Nvidia came along and were like, we got a big bag of cash for you. And it was too big for them to turn down.
Yeah, well, because they had to fund all the crunch they were going to do.
Exactly. Yeah. But then if anyone had spoken to any of the development team or to the community manager or something, they'd be like, this is really bad. But the Suits already made the decision, and now that's the reason why we don't have the next-gen console update.
I think what they're going to do is pack the update. So if a suit made a deal and shackled you to a timeline, the one thing you can do is fill the timeline. So I'm going to sneeze. God. So what you can do is, instead of being like, okay, this could come out now.
Yeah.
You said, we cannot bring it out until this point because of Suits. There's a bitter taste in my mouth. But what can you do? You can, work on all your bugs and stuff, fine. You can bring out, hey, with this next gen update, it's not just ray tracing and stuff. You're getting your third person.
You're getting this, you're getting that.
We also have DLC for you.
Yeah.
Right? So this next gen patch can come out with DLC, potentially getting them more money, which all you had to do was ask us for money for Witcher Remastered. I want to pay you. I actually want to pay you for it.
That's baffling as well, isn't it?
It's clear want to pay you for it.
It's clear the two people weren't talking. The person who made the exclusivity deal for the Nvidia.
No, don't worry about it. Nvidia's going to give us this big bag of money. No. Look at this sack of cash we're going to get. We're going to ask for a tenner.
And you're just like, no. Forget it.
Just talk together. Because that's, I would almost guarantee, unless it was some unfathomable amount of money, that the Witcher 3 Remastered,
20 quid.
All day, every day.
Exactly.
All day, every day. Are you kidding? The Witcher 3 with like ray tracing and stuff like that? Hells yes.
Yeah.
At 60 FPS? Hells yes.
Yeah.
Hells yeah, I would. So I want to see Yen on that unicorn in 60 FPS. Freaking, like
ray tracing everywhere.
Yeah, everything.
That's the thing. If they had charged for that, maybe they could have recouped loss. But anyway, that's the reason why we're not getting the next gen update, and it's really, really annoying. And
it sucks. Suits.
And it just shows that no company is completely... Exactly. There's always going to be someone who's just looking out for their pocket. Yeah. Exactly. Who's just looking out for that bonus. Who's just looking out for that.
Suits are in everything.
It's really annoying.
But look, silver lining.
Yes.
The potential is there that by the time the update comes out, it will include third person. It will include
some DLC or
some
something.
DLC, right? Even like I would probably include a DLC like mission or something, so you'd have DLC that you intend to ask for money for, which will be, knowing them, 10 plus hours.
Yeah.
But you include, say, like a 1 hour free DLC. So let's say you made 11 hours of content. You include like a prequel to the DLC.
Yeah.
Where you're like, here's an hour of stuff. It's free. It comes with the patch.
Yeah.
Everybody gets it, but it's included. It's there for the patch. The next gen patch, and that leads into, here's the DLC. It's $14.99 for the 10-15 hours of DLC.
Yeah.
And with the ray tracing and stuff, you already did the first hour that doesn't lead up to it, but sets up whatever's going to go down, right? You start hearing the names, and the event that gets referenced in the DLC happens in that's how you would. So silver lining, that's what I hope will happen, because the Suits away from the decision making now that the contract's already been signed.
Yeah.
So that's my fingers crossed.
Oh god, it's upsetting. When I first clocked that, and I was like, wait a minute, the consoles have the same architecture as these cards, and they're not getting the next gen update.
Oh man.
Oh, you sons of anyway.
Yeah.
One final thing on Cyberpunk before we move on from it, move on from at least our impressions and whatnot. I did put up a poll to ask people what people think Cyberpunk will be getting in terms of Metacritic score, because we'll be getting reviews pretty soon on this game.
Yeah.
I guessed it would be around about, I think I said a 92 to somebody here. I think 92 might be a good number for it. However, me and Rob, friend of the show, one of the bros and whatnot, we started speaking how and was like, this game is so high profile, and we've already seen many journalists put out pieces to stir up drama to get clicks.
Hit pieces, man.
Regardless of whether or not they believe it, whether or not it's true.
I can already see where this is going, and I completely agree.
And you know there's going to be someone outside like, 5 out of 10. This is terrible. It does that wrong, and then this commentary is awful. I could not support CDPR. 5 out of 10.
One of these guys you can kill. They're trans. The game is anti. That's
what that means.
Is white supremacy. Blah blah blah.
That's what that means. That's what that is. So I could see that dragging it down, and unfortunately, 92 with those people in this world does not happen.
I agree.
But what do you, in your perfect world, in your world where you think this is the game and this is what it should get, your feelings, what do you think this game should be? If you want to give, you can give a realistic vote as well.
Okay, so I'm going to give you 3.
Okay.
The game that I want them to make gets like a 98.
Okay.
95 plus.
Okay.
The game that I think Cyberpunk should be. Won't make everybody happy. There'll be things in there like stuff that everybody doesn't like, but solid. The game they actually make, I think is going to come in the like 87 to 92 range, somewhere in there. What it's actually going to score, 79 to 82, somewhere in there. Because of those people, because of those guys doing it's not going to do this, and that one guy that is unhappy that he can't play as a starfish, and that one chick that doesn't like the fact that you can kill one of the Moxes and they're like sex workers, and that means that
it's
like,
against sex workers. No.
Or that, like
you can kill anyone else, but not the sex worker.
The animals are like Jamaican types, aren't they? They're like,
I'm not sure actually. I know there are
a few of
Cuban
them,
or something like that.
I thought they're that area, right?
Yeah,
I believe. I want to say they're Jamaican, but it's what is that place called? What is that place called?
Caribbean.
The Caribbean.
Caribbean.
Yeah. So I think they're the Caribbean, not culture, but like they have that flavour to them.
Right.
And I can see people saying the fact that you can kill animals or fight them, or they can be presented as the bad guy. I bet. I'm calling it now. You'll see an article how the fact that they're Caribbean and so like whatever racial background they are and stuff, and that their name is the animals, shows that it's white supremacy because they're calling them animals. That's an article that's coming out. Timestamp it, boys.
I can see
calling it now.
That will happen.
That's the reason. That's the reason it gets high 70s, low 80s, because those people vote.
Unfortunately, that is how it's going to go. Yeah. And the more high profile the game is, the more you attract those people. Yeah. It happened with Spider-Man and whatnot. Spider-Man was easily the most anticipated game of next gen, and that was what sold the PS5 to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And immediately it was full of like, well, they reference why should Spider-Man? This was a funny one. Why should Spider-Man work with the police department because of the current economical climate with black people and police? I was God. Or maybe it's a Spider-Man game and people just want to be happy.
It's also literally a different universe.
Oh, exactly. And
also, he's a crime fighter.
It would be hard if it's like crime fighter, but also I'm going to take out all of the police. It's like, well, that doesn't really go together. And I do
love the idea of Spider-Man busting a guy who's black and then having to lift up his mask and prove that he's also got black skin, therefore it can't have been racial profiling.
Can't be racial profiling. I love the actual terminology this guy said as well. He was like, Insomniac should have made a game that was more tuned to the current climate rather than what they want the world to be. I was like, so you're actually taking the piss out of them because they want the world to be good. Wait. It's like, hold on a second.
Wait. Like, imagine for a second someone saying that like God of War or like Horizon Zero Dawn needs to be different because it shouldn't be reflective of the world they want to make, but the world that they currently live in. Like
devs shouldn't be able to make the game they want. Okay.
Yeah,
Can
all games should be set in the real world.
Real world, and they must consult all these journalists before. Just ridiculous.
That's beyond stupid. These are the guys that couldn't even make it to be suits.
Exactly.
You know?
And you know, the first tweet, or in fact, the article, if he decides to write one.
Oh yeah,
Jason Schreier's say he's gonna say it's gonna be
the crunch wasn't worth it.
That's what he's gonna say. That's the title. The crunch was not worth it.
Yeah.
That's the title.
Or like, it's going to be Cyberpunk crumbling after crunch, or something like that. Cyberpunk crumbles after crunch.
Jason
crumbles despite crunch. That's what it'd be.
We demand royalties.
Yeah, seriously, if that is the title, I'm suing. I'm gonna frickin' sue.
This is proof. We've got it recorded and uploaded on the internet.
I'm googling if you can sue someone, if you can start the process for free.
It's intellectual property rights, surely.
Yeah.
Surely.
Okay.
Anyway, the guys on I did put out a poll, all of you guys that voted, thank you so much for that. There are a few select people who think it might be below 79 on Metacritic. Another step up, where 27% is 80 to 89. The vast majority of people, like nearly 50%, say it's going to be between 90 and 95. And there are a few optimists, like you said, for your personal thing, over 95%.
Yeah.
So that'll be very interesting. And also a couple of guys let me highlight. Felipe says a 92. Cass says low 80s for the PS4 version, and then when the PS5 version come out, it'll be close to 90.
Yeah, I agree.
Hus says 0, which is that's pessimistic right there.
Yeah.
Juice says between 1995, etc. Esex says 92. So around about that area right there. Highway Robbery, Rob 78.
That's what I put for what it will get because of the douches.
Yeah.
I also want to give you a different number, and that is less than $100 to sue Jason when he puts that thing.
Is it really?
Yeah. I could start the process of taking him to small claims court for that title. I might lose. If we win, we get it back. So Patreon guys, when you see that title, we need your pledges up, because just for the lols, if you wanna, I'll frickin' sue him.
Mate.
We've got the footage, and I've said, patent pending, TM,
my intellectual property
can't be used without my explicit permission, blah, blah, blah. Like, I'll frickin' sue him for that. Yeah,
we'll take him for that. We'll throw $100 to the wind.
Yeah, it'd be funny. We'll do it for the video. Like, why we're suing Jason Schreier. It'd be
Exactly.
a great video. Yeah.
Exactly. That would be hilarious, because that would be obviously one of his most viewed articles ever.
Oh, yeah.
So the potential gain is massive.
That's right.
We could fund this YouTube channel for the next 10 years.
Considering what we've made it run on,
Exactly.
we actually could.
It's indefinite. We might, if we can hook this up to life support somehow, we can continue going.
Yeah. Boop. Boop. Right, Jason, you need to keep pumping out articles, buddy.
Keep pumping. You need to pay for it. Anyway, that's our thoughts on Cyberpunk 2077. It was going to be meaty because it's a meaty game and it's the last one up until it. But I hope you guys enjoyed that.
Yeah.
A few little things. Copies of Cyberpunk 2077 have been going out early. You've seen it already. On the good side, people are getting to play it early.
Plus shipping. It's plus shipping. It's plus shipping. He's going to make you pay for shipping.
They couldn't even include it in the price. People have been getting copies, and there have been people that have tried to stream it out there, but they've got shut down quite quickly. It's obviously pre-patch early stuff. It's broken mess sometimes and whatnot. However, there are some people that are getting them early. Before I mention this one, in America, Best Buy have been shipping out collector's editions. Not just one or two, all of them. I've seen hundreds of posts of people with collector's editions of the game just delivered.
Yeah.
And I'm really annoyed. I tweeted a game. I was like, why can't you guys ever suck this much in delivery? You only ever cancel or delay my shipments.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's that. And people have been selling copies of Cyberpunk 2077 on eBay for a small profit.
A small profit.
Small profit.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
You don't want to be a
early.
scalper. You get something early, maybe make a bit of profit. You buy it back a little bit later. You make the difference.
Exactly. This one here, $4,350
plus $3.95 shipping.
Oh, you need to cover the stamp and
You don't want to lose money on it.
You don't lose money on it. But 350. And do you know what happened? I love our community because they always come to me when they're asking for. Well, recently they've been coming to me for the PS5 because they know I've been looking for you.
Yeah.
Can you help me out as well? Love it. I'd happy to help you out anytime I can.
I hate the idea that these guys get them and I don't. Frick you guys.
I hope they've not come back to me and said, yeah, I've got one, so otherwise that would be painful.
Yeah.
And also, when this happened, people were like, Eddie, you can get Cyberpunk early. And I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm done with money, but I'm not going to...
Patreon at?
Well, check it quickly. Are we close? Are we close?
I mean, we're close, but we'd have to fill a bit of a gap.
We might have to.
Just a little bit, but...
Top it up a little bit.
Yeah.
But £4,000, in what world would that be possible? Would that be even a thing?
The worst thing is there's some like trust fund baby that really wants to play this that will pay that. Someone's going to make... I really want to play Cyberpunk, but I would, for a value of £4,295 in profit, wait a couple of weeks.
Yes.
You know?
That's much right there.
That is much.
Anyway, that's happening, and that's
Jesus Christ, that's
really
a lot of money. It's a lot of money.
Our next topic, if you don't mind moving
46 bids. I hope those are ironic. I hope those are those people that have had enough of scalpers and are just bidding up with an intention to burn the account so that it never,
I've seen people that do that, and people that have advertised they've done that for the PS5s, because there are people out there that and they just bid it up to like the kamikaze their account. They're just like 80 grand. Fuck it, I don't care. No one's getting this PS5. I don't care. Anyway, screw scalpers. Our next topic is a PS5 Pro patent that has been officially filed by Sony, outlining a scalable games console design with a possibility of a multiple GPU and CPU design. First of its kind.
Yeah.
It's quite interesting. Basically, it's a bit like... Did you ever see the old graphics cards that could... They call it SLI, where they connect two graphics cards. And it's like, double the power. Power Rangers, go! That sort of thing. That sort of thing. Now, it doesn't say whether or not it's like an attachment or whether it's inside the box and whatnot. But I love the fact that the dust hasn't settled on the PS5. And we're getting PS5 Pro patent leaks already. How do you feel about PS5 Pro?
I'll tell you what I feel about the landscape. I think I was right about a year ago when I said this is the last generation of Xbox.
That was going to be one of my thoughts. Yes. Because as it is right now, the Xbox has, on paper, at least as we think, the most powerful console.
Yeah.
It hasn't made a blind bit of difference.
Hasn't made any difference in all the testing and benchmarks. Not only because it is on paper more powerful.
Yes.
On paper. But the fact is, when they're compared head to head, not only does it not seem to be make any difference, the PlayStation outperforms it on like-for-like games.
Yep.
And it has a couple of features that, like the quick resume, it's very quick.
Yeah.
What's the difference between it's seconds to cold boot a new game on the PlayStation?
Yeah.
It's almost a no difference anyway, and we suspect that functionality is in there, and in some coming patch they will add quick resume.
Yeah.
And not even talk about it. It's just going to be a feature that you now get.
Just going to pop in one day.
Yeah. So
where are they, man?
I mean, like little things as well. Little things that people don't seem to take too much notice on. They have done nothing with controllers in 25 years. I think that's about right for the Xbox, the original Xbox.
They added a share button. Okay.
They added a share button. So they've been making literally 1% steps.
Yeah.
The PlayStation, the DS3 had the 6-axis. We've got the DualSense 5 now, which is... I didn't think it would be that big a deal. It's incredible.
It's amazing.
I mean, you got to turn all that shit off for COD.
Yeah.
But other than, but for the games where it makes sense, I cannot wait to experience God of War 5 with that thing. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Or God of War 4. Just God of War 4.
Yeah.
God of War 4 Remastered. The sound tech, the changes that they're making to the peripherals, at no additional at no cost.
Yeah.
That alone on PlayStation is incredible. And then the fact that what they already have is such a huge departure. Like, I genuinely believe, in terms of how the internals work, I said it before, but I think this isn't next gen. This is a new species for consoles. Mm-hmm. although the Xbox looks like it's doing the same thing, I think in a few years' time, especially once the devs have figured out everything, the way the PlayStation develops your experience of playing the game is going to be so far departed from the Xbox One that it won't be funny. And that they've gone, okay, we've got this brand new architecture. How can we make it a pro? How can we make it better? Oh, let's put SLI for CPU and GPU. I don't see, and mate, that thing just from knowing that it could have 2 GPUs and or 2 CPUs, PSVR 2, hello.
Yeah, it has to be in the cards right now.
Right.
I love that's that we've got to the point now where consoles are pretty much like PCs, because PCs, they are scalable machines.
Yes.
And this is a scalable games console, and it seems that they've come with that. They've thought about the architecture of the PS5 in such a way that they will make a scalable console in the future. But we didn't think about it because we were too busy looking at the next generation and whatnot. But this is actually amazing. Multi-GPU console. That's crazy to think about.
One of the ways, have you ever... sometimes you're thinking about getting a new car, you go on Auto Trader to see what your money will buy.
Yeah.
Have you ever looked at toys like side-by-sides, like the off-road go-karty things?
Yeah.
So like Kawasaki is an example, because the way they get you is they make the actual machine fairly priced. Where they get you is all the extra stuff that you actually kind of need.
Yeah.
Where you need the different light bar, you need the extra mud guards, you need the front bumper, you need the winch, but it doesn't come with it. It's all extras, right? Yeah. And that's really where they make their money. And there's also particularly a very Japanese way of doing things. Don't get me wrong, all car companies do that with the extras, but you find that it's very Japanese to be here's the product, here are these incredible extras that you need. And I could see a world where you buy the PS5 Pro, and what you really get, as well as a better PS5, is the porting, where to go to the PS5 Pro Plus, all you need to buy for a reasonable $160 is the next GPU that plugs in the back.
Plugs into it, yeah.
And then for the PS5 Pro Plus Ultra, you take that one out and it's a double thing, and you plug that one in, right? And so it's modular in a sense, Yeah. So I could see that being the way it goes. I think as well, if anyone's got it, Sony has the juice.
They seem to have everything else on lock, right?
Yeah. I know the question wasn't about Xbox, but I do worry that Xbox is going to go by the wayside, and I need them, even though I don't have any intention to get one.
Yeah, you need them to keep Sony up on their feet.
Keep the pressure up, yeah. Keep them, they're not going to improve unless there's a reason to, unless they have competition to beat.
It's unfortunate, though, because Xbox, they themselves have conceded it.
Yeah.
And they're we're not going after Sony.
Well, their real competition is Amazon and Facebook.
That's true.
Wherever it was, yeah.
That's true. Amazon and Facebook and Google Stadia and GeForce Now. Those are the real ones. And I do love it. It's because you don't have a foot rate in the race in the other side. But that's fine. Go over there. But that means that they are taking the pressure off of Sony now. And Sony are getting in the...
They desperately need, and I desperately want... So, it was... PlayStation proved it. You need a title to push your console.
Yeah.
We have Miles Morales on PlayStation. Where is Halo Infinite? Where is Medium even out?
No.
Where's Medium?
Coming out, I think it's coming out this month, but I'm not sure.
But still, where's Medium? Where's Halo Infinite? I don't think it would push consoles, but 12 minutes, which we're both interested in.
Very interested in, yeah.
There's nothing. You got AC Valhalla, but that doesn't work on either console.
It doesn't work on either console, and apparently in the Digital Foundry test, it was worse on Xbox Series X. How does that work?
Look, let's say it's better. So, it's still a buggy mess.
Yeah.
Right? It's just...
Yeah.
It's...
What was I
don't know, man.
I was gonna say something, but I forgot. Anyway, yeah, the PS5 Pro. I just love that it's a thing now, and we're not even fully into the generation. We're 2 weeks into this thing.
People still haven't got their pre-orders.
Yeah.
For the PS5. Obviously me, you would expect news of this. We would have expected this to leak in 2022. Early 22 is where I would have expected this leak to come.
Yeah.
Next year you could be looking at PS5 Pro, 3 years in Pro. Yeah, it's about right. About middle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think actually I'm going to mention one other thing before we
Yeah.
move on to. I was going to talk about the Game Awards, but I think we'll talk about the PS5 Pro, so PS5 sales numbers and whatnot.
Okay, yeah.
As I said, it's doing very, very, very well.
Yes.
In its in its first week, the only numbers was the first territories that it came out
Yeah.
in, and then the second week has now passed, so we now have the numbers for the next week.
Yeah.
I think I mentioned in the last podcast it was 2.38 million consoles out there, as opposed to Microsoft's 1.45
4, I think it was, yeah.
or something like
Call
that.
it 1.5 to 2.5.
Exactly.
Yeah, roughly.
It was the biggest. It was the UK's biggest selling console ever. The PS4 had something like 700,000 units, and now the PS5 sold over 750,000 units. We haven't got the full number on that, but it's more than, which is fucking fantastic.
Also, bearing in mind that lots of people couldn't get them.
Exactly,
Like,
they're sold out everywhere.
There was not this problem with the PS4. There is a massive shortage,
Yeah.
and it still outpaced the PS4 by a fair margin. That's a good.
Exactly.
That's like a good. It's almost 10%.
Exactly. In the second week, they sold over 1 million consoles worldwide. That's what's worked out there. There is something to mention here, though. In the second week, in the first week, it was PlayStation at number 1 spot and Xbox Series X and S in number 2 spot. And then Nintendo had fallen into third spot for the first time in like a year and a bit or something like
You
that.
mean the Switch?
The Switch, yeah.
Okay.
Nintendo was up the top. It was always selling because Nintendo sells amazingly.
Well, of course, yeah.
In week 1, it got pushed down. In week 2,
No.
it went back into second spot.
Nah. Wait. Just so I'm clear,
Yeah.
because I want to be very specific. Are you saying that this last week
Yeah.
more Switches have sold than new Xboxes?
The new Xboxes, exactly. The numbers
fuck?
right here. So if you look in all of these numbers right here, you
Yeah.
can see this is the total number right here is
Yeah.
1,800,000 Switches have been sold in the last
Mm-hmm.
week. 250,000 Xboxes have been sold. What's really interesting right here, and this is crazy. Obviously, this is to do with constraints in stock and stuff like that. The PS4 is only 6,000 units behind the Xbox Series X, the current console, in Europe.
Well, X and S.
X and
The
S
two
combined.
yeah.
The PS4 is still selling almost the amount that the next generation console is selling for Xbox.
Yeah.
It's as I said, these are because of the supply constraints. But if PlayStation could have ordered nearly 3 million consoles, Xbox could have done, and they didn't because
worse.
they knew that they wouldn't
It's
be able
worse.
to sell those.
It's
ones.
worse. This is my interpretation of those numbers. Every single one of those PS4 sales, barring like a few people that bought the wrong console for Christmas and stuff like that. I'm sure that's happened.
Yeah.
They thought they got a really good deal on it. I'm sure there's a few. I would bet almost every single one of them is an Xbox guy that has decided this generation, screw Xbox, I'm going to Sony.
I want to try all those exclusives.
Right. And look, I can't get my hands on a PS5, but what is there out there already? Spider-Man, God of War 4,
And you can't
The
play
Last
all those
of Us.
games on it. Yeah.
Right. And I suspect that 75,000 not brand new, but like Xbox bots that are now Sony ponies. You know, that
I think that's right. I think that's what they are. And they wanted to try out the PlayStation ecosystem. At least
Yeah.
they can get those games for now.
What's the Switch cost at the minute?
I don't think the price has gone down on the Switch. I think it's still like £250,
Yeah.
which is like, or whatever, because Nintendo never dropped their prices on anything.
Well, why would they?
Exactly, they can still sell it.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that was interesting. The PlayStation is flying off the shelves. So is the Xbox, but
In theory.
it again, I have to come back to, if PlayStation could have ordered 3 million units for this first launch, Xbox could have done the same thing.
Yeah.
They didn't, because they correctly assumed that people won't be interested that much as the PlayStation.
I feel like I don't have my finger on the pulse of the demand for the Xbox in the way that I do for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Mainly because I'm waiting for a PlayStation.
Yeah.
A lot of our guys have ended up. We flipped a few guys.
Yeah.
To Sony. And we're
Consoles wise. Sorry, I thought you meant sexuality.
No. Oh,
Sorry,
of course, yeah, that goes without saying.
Yeah,
We flipped all the guys on that, yeah. But a lot of guys were like, "Oh, I'm both or whatever." Oh, I really want to get a PlayStation this generation around. So we're more into what's going on with PlayStation. I do get the impression that it feels that as many people couldn't get the Xbox and do want it. the numbers say that's not true, but I feel like the same proportion of people want it and couldn't get it.
Yeah.
But that actual number is way lower on the Xbox side.
Exactly. Proportion-wise, probably the same,
Yeah.
but the numbers-wise, the volume-wise is very different.
And Xbox guys tend to be so much louder.
Yeah,
I feel, from my position of like up in the ivory tower of being a PlayStation master race, looking down on the peasants that play on Microsoft products.
Exactly.
You know, PC peasants and the Xbox gamers. I get. It feels like it could well be that they think the exact same. It could be tons of PC guys saying the PlayStation dudes are the worst. It could well be.
They do say that, but they say that about anyone who isn't PC.
True,
That's what they say. Anyway, that was just very interesting. The PlayStation is selling like hotcakes. There have been more PlayStation 5s rolling out, and like we said, in order to get round those scalpers, those people who are just buying consoles so they can resell them and whatnot, eventually their pockets will run dry because they can't keep buying consoles. And if people can stick it out long enough to not buy the consoles,
if those heroes can keep burning accounts to bid those things up to like 90 grand so that no one buys them, these guys will go bankrupt, and ideally, my perfect world, they sell them at a severe loss.
Ooh,
they have to just eat the fact they lose 50 quid on each of these things.
Did you see what I spoke about in the Demon Soul stream yesterday?
No.
So you know CEX is a company that takes in consoles and takes in games and stuff at second hand. Guess what they're doing?
They're not scalping these things.
They are. People can bring their PS5s over to them and they'll give something like £650 for them, so more than the market value for them. So if you were a scalper and you wanted an easy way to make money, you could just go to CEX and get that money. And then they are putting it on sale for £800 in their stores. A UK retailer scalping.
Cool. So we have an enemy now.
We do have an enemy.
Because that's Suits.
I know that their
that's
whole thing,
because that's where I used to get my games from. I used to get my cheap movies from. I'm texting my chick now. We don't buy from CEX.
We don't buy from CEX. Same way that I don't buy from Tesco anymore.
I'm literally texting.
You should, because I used to go there and I always used to get annoyed by their system because it is all based on demand and whatnot. But their price is only I mean, I think they used to go to the maximum RRP price. But like in stores, you could get it for £5 cheaper or something like that. That was as far as they would go. I would never see something that was way more than RRP, and that peed me off to no extent.
There we go, message out. So
we're
we
not
now
buying
don't
from
buy. I'll tell my family in a bit.
Everyone,
I'm not even joking. We don't buy from CEX anymore.
That's enough. That's enough to do.
Super. That's so unacceptable. And this is not because I'm not even that sorry about the PS5. At the minute, there's not a ton out. I would love to play Cyberpunk, but I'm not, not going to be the patch. That's just unacceptable.
That is.
And I'm sure they probably will do that. Are they doing it for the Xbox? That'd be an interesting thing to find out.
We could probably check, actually, because we can check the PS5 one. I checked it the other day.
I suspect they would. As much as I give Xbox hate, and actually I don't give them, they're my Xbox, you know? Right, let's see.
Xbox Series X.
Let's see. Ooh, why didn't it not pop up as
so all the way down here for some reason. They are doing it for the same there, not to the same extent, but they're buying it for £550, which is more. A bit more, and then
selling it for
$690.
Yeah,
what bastards!
Yeah,
man.
so we don't buy from those guys anymore.
It might have changed, but let's have a look to make sure. PS5, £815.
Yeah, so that's unacceptable. I'm not joking. The whole family is going to know about that. I'll pay more money on Amazon. And what you think I really want to give the corporate giant that is Amazon more money? No, but at least those suits aren't scalping me. You know, and it's not the suits at Amazon scalping; it's the sellers on Amazon scalping. You know, like or eBay. You know, frick these guys. Frick them.
It's shitty because it's a UK retailer. It shouldn't be like that.
No.
Anyway, let's move on because this is a very long podcast now.
Yeah.
Let's move on to the Game Awards. So the Game Awards are coming up. I wanted to do a light little bit of predictions of what we think are going to win and stuff like that. Of very few subjects, not too deep. But also, did you hear that Tom Holland is going to be presenting one of the awards at the thing? I think it's because we're going to get a trailer for the Uncharted movie.
That would be cool.
That'd be quite nice.
I've seen some of the test footage or test photos of him as Nathan Drake.
Yeah, those shots.
Personally, I didn't think he was a great. Not that he was a bad pick, but I was like, I'm not really sure. He actually looks incredible as young Nathan Drake.
I think he does, yeah.
I'm also excited for Nathan Drake's basically Indiana Jones.
Yes.
And me and my chick just recently watched all of the movies, all three. They never made a fourth, unfortunately. That would have been cool.
It would have been great.
It would have been cool. They could have put in, well, anything really, as long as it wasn't stupid like magic aliens or something, right?
For weird stuff like that.
But so we watched those three. So I'm kind of digging that at the minute, and we could be getting basically another Indiana Jones franchise.
I hope it's cool.
And I would absolutely get Harrison Ford to do like a little cameo.
Yeah.
You know, just like, hey, that's not too bad.
Just shows up somewhere.
Yeah, or he could be like, have Nathan Drake go to university and have Harrison Ford teaching about the Ark of the Covenant or something like that, right? Little, minor, tiny, nothing.
It would be super cool.
That would be sick.
I hope we do get to see it.
That would be really cool.
One other thing that might happen, Jeff Keighley, famous friendship with Hideo Kojima.
Yes, very famous.
And we've had even more rumours pop up about the possibility of a Silent Hill Kojima game.
I'm not going anywhere near it.
I really want it. I really want it.
Have you played RE Village yet?
I haven't yet. Do you know what's stupid? I'm such a moron. I said to everybody I want to play it so I can get ready. Sorry, Village hasn't come out. It's coming out next year.
Yeah.
But I bought Biohazard so I can play that one.
Biohazard, yeah.
And then we can get ready for it. It's like a prep stream. I went and bought it on Amazon, and then as soon as I posted the picture, some hero goes to me and goes, "Isn't that free on PS Plus Collection right now?" And I was like, Amazon returned. So I go back out there.
This was ordered by mistake.
Yeah, thank you so much for that. So he saved me some money there.
Yeah.
And yeah, it is free on the PS Plus Collection thing on the PS5.
Yeah.
So that's going to happen. I'm looking forward to this because
PS Plus Collection,
great value.
boy, is that good? Yeah,
Good value.
you can't access it on the PS4 family though, can you? I don't think you can.
So what? This is weird. This is so weird. This has come up organically, but there's some Chinese sellers out there on eBay that can, if you give them your account details, which is dodgy as hell stuff, they will log in on a PS5 for you, claim all of those games, and you can play them on the PS4.
Because they'll be in your library.
They're in your library.
Well, why don't I just do that with you?
I think you can, but I think it's against terms of service. I think there are people that are getting their accounts banned because of it. Now, I don't know whether they can track that because suddenly you've logged in China and then suddenly you're back in San Francisco.
Right.
I don't know. But if they do that and I get banned, I'm going to lose all my platinums, I'll kill you. So
that's a solid point.
But I think it's quite funny that you brought that up and you can't do that.
Yeah.
Anyway, I'm looking forward to Silent Hill because after PT, I just haven't been able to get my mind off of how insanely good that horror was. And we need the best of stuff. If we can get the best of, even if it's horror, and
Kojima
this would be amazing.
I didn't vibe with Death Stranding.
Yeah.
But it is fabulous.
Yes.
I just didn't like it. And I still haven't done that, watching the clips, the cinematics to find out the story. Because I'm curious, but I am gonna.
Watch it at night when you're alone.
Of course, yeah. And make sure it's like windy outside, there's stuff banging on the windows, trees waving in the shadows. He's an incredible director.
Yeah.
And has an incredible vision and creates these incredible worlds. And if you asked me, who's the guy you want to make Silent Hill, I would say we need to burn that franchise to the ground. But if we weren't going to, Hideo Kojima.
Yes.
He is the guy.
Yes.
Of course he is.
Yeah.
Same with, look, if they're going to do a Metal Gear, Hideo Kojima should be on it. I'd bring him onto other projects. Splinter Cell. Right, why is
Metal
that?
Gear basically is Splinter Cell. It's just a more Western version.
That is all it is. But you add the Hideo Kojima flair to Splinter Cell, to Sam Fisher.
Yeah.
You know, I think that would work perfectly. A little bit less because Metal Gear is also kind of very anime, over the top on a lot of stuff, and I think Splinter Cell's a little bit more grounded. But like, if you can keep Hideo Kojima from like doing too much acid, I think he'd make a great Splinter Cell as well.
I tell you what, today, just for today, Don't do that.
Yeah, no acid.
Try it.
Or mushrooms. Like, you just stick to the basics, like the cocaine, MDMA.
Yeah, you can do all that stuff.
Yeah.
Just not the hardcore stuff.
Just don't go and literally meet God. Just today. Just today.
Our boy Top Bro Ben wrote in and he goes, some announcements that he'd like to see from the Game Awards. He says, Hogwarts Legacy trailer, because we haven't seen anything from Hogwarts since that trailer.
That's a shout.
I hope we see something from Suicide Squad actually as well. That's something I'm looking forward to.
Those are 2 games I'm excited about,
Yeah. New Hideo Kojima tease, a new AAA Nintendo game to be announced.
Okay.
More on that James Bond game that was announced from IO Interactive.
Funny that you mentioned James Bond game. I did that Twitter poll.
Yeah.
And it turns out something like 68% are all about the gadgets. 68% of people want the laser watch, grappling hook pen, grenade shoes, underwater car.
Could you imagine? It's like, just pull on the lace.
Right.
Get out of there. Grenade shoe.
Like, they want...
Oh, now my sock's all wet. Oh, no.
Yeah, so you're running all upside.
Can there be another group of enemies so I can get rid of the other shoe at least?
Dear God, why did they only put the grenade in the right shoe? Why not a pair? Yeah, so apparently if everybody was going to play the James Bond game, they want it to be gadget heavy. Yeah. I could go either way. Also, I don't mind for gadgets or no gadgets.
There you go. He also says Horizon Forbidden West trailer and release date as well. We kind of do need a release date because it's assumed that that's going to be the one before God of War.
It makes sense because it was a year before God of War 4 came out. The idea that it's... I mean, so it came out in 2017, mid-2017. 2021's 4 years? That's right, 4 years. That's about right.
Yeah.
If we get a trailer, I could see the release date being like, no, holiday 2021. November 2021, something like that. I could see that. It feels right. There's no way it's God of War next year.
I can't see it, but all of these devs keep saying it is.
They do have all the assets.
I need to hold it in my hand in order to believe it.
Yeah, they do have all the assets. They don't have to make a lot of stuff from scratch because it's no longer the PS3 code, basically unusable for the PS4 stuff. So they had to build everything from the ground up. They do have that. They already have the casting down.
I need to have it in my hands. Much like the mythological clitoris, only when I have it in my hands will I believe it exists.
So neither of these things are happening.
They're never happening. No. Because it doesn't. The clitoris doesn't exist.
It's not a real
this
thing.
game doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's a rumor.
Exactly.
Yeah, a vicious rumor.
Vicious rumor. God. Let's talk a little bit about the predictions then.
Okay.
So let's talk let me go through a couple of these categories and then we can just sound off what we feel like is going to win in these categories right here. Starting off with the big one, the Game of the Year.
Yes.
We've got up here for nomination is Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, which I don't think is fair because it's a remake, but it is a substantial remake.
Yeah, it's quite a departure from the original,
Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Animal Crossing New Horizons, and The Last of Us Part 2. Which one do you think will win, and which one do you want to win? You can see my results here, by the way. I've got what I chose.
Okay.
Because I'm one of those that...
I'm going to... So, I hear really good things about Hades. Mm-hmm. It's not my kind of... It's not my cup of tea. It's like one of those... not platformers, but like, it's the top-down little cartoony animation. The guys who runs around and stuff. It kind of reminds me of Plants vs. Zombies from back in the day.
Okay.
In a weird way. So that's not for me, but I hear it's really great. I hear the people that play it like it. I could see any one of those other than Hades winning. I don't think it will go to Animal Crossing, but I think everybody that plays Animal Crossing thinks it should. Yeah,
it's one of those things that it's like people who play what are those esport games like Valorant and
and
all the other like Dotas and stuff like that. Dota is the game; everyone does it, and I'm like, yes, there is a huge following. Yeah. But gamers don't regard it as a game and whatnot. That's the problem.
Or League of Legends or something.
Exactly. It's like, that's an esports game. And much like the esports nominations that are pushed all the way down to the bottom, the rest of the world don't care. That's the problem right there. So while it's great and while you enjoy it, not going to win.
So I agree with you on Final Fantasy VII. I think the fact that it has Final Fantasy VII in the name is a problem because... One, it's kind of a large departure, but it's also banking on the success of something that's proven out for the last 20-odd years. Yeah. It's a really, really good game, but it's also, its entire framework is or it's not brand new. I don't think it will be Doom, although that game's incredible.
Yeah.
And I still need to play the DLC. That game's incredible, but I think in comparison to Ghost of Tsushima and The Last of Us 2, it just can't. It just doesn't deliver for the variety of people.
Yeah.
So I think it should go to, and I would also give it to The Last of Us 2.
Yeah.
But I can see Ghost of Tsushima giving it some strong competition. I just feel like the story isn't there.
I think The Last of Us 2 is going to win it because it is an all-around, like, the gunplay is fantastic, the story is fantastic, the acting is fantastic, it looks gorgeous, especially running on current-gen consoles and whatnot. And I've had so much fun in Ghost of Tsushima, but it's not the polish, it's not the product that is, and it's not the experience that is Last of Us Part 2. I voted for Ghost of Tsushima because I believe it does deserve it.
It's really good. And
maybe because there was a part of me that was like, The Last of Us Part 2 was a bit emotionally exhausting.
Yeah, oh, absolutely.
And maybe I shouldn't always be crying.
Yeah, totally with you.
Whereas when I looked at Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, this is a great story. There's probably more that could have been done with it.
Oh, completely.
I had a lot of fun in the world. It was very open. It was loads of technical things, like very quick loading times.
Incredible.
The little things, quality of life things where it's like, instead of stopping, cutting a tree, pulling it out of the ground, stuffing it in your pocket, getting back on your horse, it was just
very good.
Very easy to get sidetracked and follow a fox.
Yeah, oh my god.
So, and it was so addictive.
Preaching to the choir, yeah.
Exactly. All that stuff was great.
The combat in Ghost of Tsushima is brilliant. The sword fights, those duels are really satisfying. They're like boss fights, but you're not forced into them.
And it was a game that, for the first time I'd ever played in Japanese, and I loved it. And I was like, this game should be played in Japanese in my mind. This was just not even like, I'm not trying to preach to you guys saying you guys played it all wrong because you played it that way.
Play it in Japanese, seriously. I played it
in
English because I intended to make content. It turned out that it wasn't like a Red Dead 2 style game. Yeah. There wasn't that...
Secrets over here, secrets over there, this trick, that trick.
I wasn't able to make the kind of content that I wanted to make. It's fine. I'm sure somebody has, but I wasn't able to access it that way. You should play in Japanese. By the way, the guy that voices Jin is also the voice of basically the best-known sword-fighting character in anime history, in the biggest anime in history, guy who voices Roronoa Zoro, who is incredible.
And he's words now. I don't know.
Brilliant actor, but brilliant actor. It's way better in Japanese. Also, those duels are incredible. I think they're better than the final boss fight.
Yeah, they're good.
The main reason I'm giving it to The Last of Us is, story-wise, I feel like it was just not anywhere near as easy to connect with Jin. Mm-hmm. And his story was good.
Yeah.
But I just didn't care much. I cared a bit, but not that much about like going against his uncle, right? Yeah. Or like the loss of his dad. Yeah. I could tell there was stuff there, and there was like I mentioned it before, when you meet the lady who teaches you the poisons.
Yeah.
She makes this comment about how like, he says, if my father could see me now, he'd be so ashamed. And she says, don't be so sure. Like, there's a prequel game there, or a DLC or something. Like, that alone, I think, could be huge, but they never explored the stuff that got meaty and into it. So it just felt not soulless, but The Last of Us 2 was soul more.
Yes.
That makes sense.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah. The way you said it makes sense. Out of context, that would not make sense.
None at all. Yeah.
The next category, best game direction: Final Fantasy remakes, Final Fantasy VII remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Half-Life Alyx, a VR game,
interesting,
and The Last of Us Part 2. The only one I haven't played Half-Life Alyx, so I don't know how good that is. But it's a Valve game. No, sorry, I didn't play Hades either. But I meant like it's a VR game, and I haven't played it, which is usually my thing. I gave it to Last of Us Part 2. I think in terms of game direction, that's going to win out of all of these guys here.
I agree. I wouldn't be upset if they gave it to Ghost of Tsushima. I really like the way I felt like it was paced well and the story was told well. It was the story that was lacking, not the direction, if that makes sense. Personally, I would give it to The Last of Us 2. I could see Ghost of Tsushima winning it, and it absolutely deserves it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hope that Ghost of Tsushima does get something out of this, because if it's like the Golden Joystick Awards, where it's like The Last of Us wins everything. Good night, everyone.
Right.
It's like, I don't want to watch that, you know.
Yeah. No.
And also, we need to fucking discuss this. This is going to be on the 10th of December, the same day as Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
Normally, we stream this sort of thing because it's fun and there's usually announcements. But also, they are very long normally.
Yeah, they run a fair while. They know that they want to get a good amount of watch time.
And we'll be fucking playing Cyberpunk.
Yeah.
What the hell do we do?
I'll be installing Cyberpunk.
You will be, yes, still.
And you'll be
copying
playing
phase.
Yeah.
The next section, best narrative.
Yeah.
13 Sentinels, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, and The Last of Us Part 2. Again, like narrative, I feel like Last of Us Part 2.
It definitely isn't Ghost of Tsushima.
Yeah.
I liked the story, but I didn't love it. I actually could see it going to Final Fantasy.
Yeah?
Yeah. I would give it, and I hate to be a broken record, to The Last of Us Part 2. But I could see it going to Final Fantasy VII. It is a good story. It's not as good as FF9, the greatest Final Fantasy, as we all know. That's just a thing.
I can only refer to Zahir. He's my FF
9
expert.
is the best. They did 7 because they were like, if it tanks, no one cares about 7. And we can beta test the FF9 remake, which is the big one. Bizarrely, 8 is this middle game. Apparently the people that played it liked it, but no one talks about 8.
Right.
No one talks about it. It goes 7. Apparently 6 is okay. It goes 7, 9, 10, like 14 or 15.
I feel sorry for 8.
It's weird. It's weird.
What do you think is going to win?
I could see it going to Final Fantasy VII.
Yeah?
I would give it to The Last of Us 2, and I can't see it going to Ghost of Tsushima. It just isn't there. We didn't explore enough of Jin's relationships. And that's the thing that people forget about the story is like, that story wasn't that the Mongols invaded. That story was the Mongols invaded and Jin had to go against his family's wishes to save the country from the Mongols.
Yeah.
Not that the Mongols had invaded. It's that human element that they not missed, because it's a freaking great game.
Yeah.
And there is some of it there, but I think they for whatever reason couldn't emphasize it as much as I think it should have been. So yeah, I think The Last of Us broken record. I could see FF7 winning it, and it would deserve it. There's nothing wrong with that.
The next category is the best art direction.
Ghost of Tsushima.
I was going to say Final Fantasy VII Remake, Ghost of Tsushima, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and The Last of Us Part 2. I hear Ori, and I've seen as well.
Ori's interesting.
Ori has a very nice art direction.
It really does.
All the gameplay I've ever seen, I'm like, God, this is a really cool looking game. It looks gorgeous. I love this really unique art style and whatnot. I do like Ghost of Tsushima. I love the way they've accurately, well, at least accurately from what I know, captured Japan and whatnot.
It's so good looking. It's so good looking.
Good.
And don't get me wrong, The Last of Us 2 is a great looking game.
Yeah.
But we saw that all in 2013 with The Last of Us 1.
Yeah. It was just up-resed.
It's just better looking. But it's that same... And I vibe with that aesthetic. One of my favourite scenes in gaming is when you're on the bridge with Ellie and Joel and the giraffes walk past.
Yeah.
And that's such an iconic scene for especially post-apocalyptic stuff. We've already seen this aesthetic, and we've been playing this aesthetic, I have, since 2013. Ghost of Tsushima, 100%. If anyone else wins it for that, other than potentially Ori, however you say it.
Ori.
It will be a fix. Maybe Ori, because it's unusual, but 100% I would give that to Ghost of Tsushima. It's so good looking.
Yeah.
So good looking. Yeah.
The next category is Best Score and Music. Doom Eternal, Final Fantasy VII Remake, Hades, Ori and the Will of the Wisps, and Last of Us Part 2. For terms of music, I saw Doom Eternal as the clear winner here for myself.
I agree.
Oh, hold on, there's conflict.
The Last of Us 2...
You made Nirok happy, and then you've taken it away from him.
The Last of Us 2...
Sorry if my neck is... I'm really hurting, so... On camera, if you're seeing me do that.
I agree. Doom Eternal clear winner.
Yeah.
With that said, the like... Ellie singing Take On Me and stuff like that.
Shit.
Do you know what I mean? Because it's also important because at the very end, when she loses her fingers and you've connected with those songs and that song that Joel teaches her. But I wouldn't consider that the score. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, the score for The Last of Us is very, very good, but Doom should win it.
Yeah.
The music inside of the game, which includes the score,
Yeah.
is
I see
slightly
what you
different.
mean.
Do you know what I mean?
I
Like,
see what you mean.
so I'm gonna say Doom. I think Doom's score is insanely good, as much as those slow chords for The Last of Us is iconic. Doom it fits so perfectly. There's not a beat that's out of place, and it's and I'm not really a death metal-y kind of guy, but it fits. It's so good. And same with Doom 2016. Something about those things going off when you're like murdering demons. It's so perfect. So I'm gonna give it to Doom.
I agree. Doom is the one. But man, you mentioned those songs in The Last of Us, and I'm like, oh, that was so
They're
good.
even more significant because of what happens at the end.
Yeah.
You know. So.
Yeah. There's only one more that I wanted to do right here. I felt like it was worth mentioning. Best performance. This was a very, very tough category, and I ended up giving it to one person, but I'll mention it. Yeah. Ashley Johnson as Ellie. Laura Bailey as Abby.
I'm fans of both of them equally.
Exactly. I can't pronounce his name, but
Daisuke Tsuji.
Daisuke Tsuji.
You totally missed it, yeah.
As Jin Sakai.
That's the English Jin Sakai, yeah.
Yeah. Logan Cunningham as AIDS. AIDS? That's not even close to that.
You did all your chick does with the names.
Oh, should I say it completely weirdly? Let me try that again. Logan Cunningham as Hades.
Interesting. Oh, yeah.
It's strange right there.
That's a name I know. Yeah.
That's what there. And I don't know how to say his name. Naji Jetta as Miles Morales. I voted for Miles Morales in this because maybe recency bias was a thing and it played a big factor in it. But I did like how, as I said, how he nailed the character of Miles Morales and how he brought it up to the level that I said that is comparable to the Spider-Verse Miles Morales. He played, even though he looks a bit older there.
I was going to say, how old is he? Because
he looks a bit older there, but he plays such a young, inexperienced Spider-Man. Okay. And he's so good. Yeah. Like, he messes up all the time, as a Spider-Man should.
That's what I loved about Miles Morales, Into the Spider-Verse.
Yes.
But it fit because he was like, 14 or 15?
Yeah.
So he's like young, old enough to like be able to cope with the situations that he's in. Like a 10-year-old wouldn't, right? But 15, he could. But also at 15, you're making untold amounts of mistakes and like social blunders and like his awkward thing with Gwen, and then he does the shoulder touch at the end.
Yeah,
you know, it's so good, such a brilliant circle.
He looks older, and I don't know what age he would be, but he is.
He does, because I thought he's like maybe 19 to 21.
I was gonna say,
the look of him.
That's what he looks like, but I think he's not. I think he's more in the range of like 16.
Yeah, okay.
But the way he acts, he's just about 15, and he sees a girl and whatnot, and while he does act normal-ish around her, you can tell that. No, I'm not going to say spoilers. If they could speak properly, he would be all over the shop. Like he'd be fumbling everywhere, and he does that with all of his moves in his web swing. When he saves something, he saves them in the wrong way and causes more destruction. It's perfect Spider-Man. Yeah. I love it a lot, and that's why I wanted to go for him. And it might be recency bias because these were good performances.
You know, in Hercules when he's like young and skinny and he breaks everything in the town. Yes. It's that.
Yes.
Yeah. That like well-meaning clumsiness.
Yeah. But I did love Jin Sakai. I did love Abby. I did love Ellie as well in all of those roles.
That's the English Jin Sakai though.
That's true. And
he's really good.
Yeah.
I haven't played Hades, so I don't know that. So he might be incredible, but I can't say. I would say that at least in comparison to Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey, that Daisuke Tsuji probably shouldn't be on the list. Not that he isn't good. He's incredible. He's really good. I would give it to the Japanese guy. If the Japanese guy was on, I think he is better. And I don't mean that as an insult. It vibed better with me as an overall product. So, for me, it's between Ashley Johnson and Laura Bailey. And I really can't pick. I really could not tell them apart. I prefer Ellie's role. But Laura Bailey plays Abby so well. At no point does she feel out of place in anything that she says, but that's also true for Ashley Johnson. And I'm a huge fan of both of them, not just like as voice actors, as people on that podcast that I listen to. But I actually like both of the characters in the game. Again, there was pacing issues. We've discussed this, but like I think for what we got, they're really good. I would lean towards Ashley Johnson. I love Ellie so much. She's been one of my favorite characters since The Last of Us 1. Since she shanked that soldier.
Yes.
Just out, it was like, no, frick it, and shanks the guy.
Yeah.
And we've like also because I'm such a fan of, in particular, these two women, and I've seen their range. They're so talented.
Yeah.
I'm going to give it to Ashley Johnson.
Ooh, okay.
Yeah, I'm going to give it to Ashley Johnson, but it is close. All of those, I'm sure, are good, and that might change it because I haven't played Miles Morales. I don't have a PS5.
Yeah.
He
Don't
may
worry,
well get it.
in 3 years' time, you'll get it and you'll be fine.
It'll be good to redo this in 3 years' time.
Yeah, we'll
because
do
everybody
that,
will care about the 2020 rankings.
That is if the world survives past 2020.
Right, we've still got a month to get through.
Exactly. A couple of guys wrote in, and there's just a couple of funny things to mention here. Quickly gloss over. Hood wrote in and goes, "Do the Game Awards matter? Should anyone care what suits or game journos vote for Game of the Year? No or no?"
Yeah. Is your answer no? And why is it no?
And why is it no? Diogo says Final Fantasy VII Remake to win everything, or else the votes were rigged. Kaya Ocean says Rig Awards 2020. Daniel says if The Last of Us 2 wins Game of the Year, it's rigged. Again,
The Last of Us 2 is the Game Awards 2020 winner elect.
There we go. It's rigged, ladies and gents. Karthik, The Last of Us 2 is going to win. Let's face it. Juice says The Last of Us 2 will win Game of the Year and a few other big awards, but I'm sure Ghost of Tsushima and Final Fantasy VII Remake will get some big ones, like how God of War won Game of the Year and some stuff, but Red Dead Redemption 2 won some other big stuff in 2018. Good point.
Very good point. So I actually totally agree, except that God of War, so 2018, so God of War and RDR2 I think were objectively by far and away the best games that came out that year, if my memory serves me.
Yeah. Spider-Man was also out that year as well. But you didn't play it, so it's okay.
That's right, I did. But like compare Spider-Man to God of War. Yeah. Not even incredible game, but like the God of War so much.
It's a different thing, like the story and that.
They're very different as well. This year, despite everything, it's actually been really good for games. And I think it's sad that Doom hasn't been in it as much. Yeah. Like if Doom had got in last year, I think it would have won so many more awards. But it's had to compete with Final Fantasy VII. The Last of Us 2, Ghost of Tsushima, like that is such stiff competition.
Jedi Fallen Order got snubbed as well.
Yeah.
It would have been in this year, although it probably wouldn't have won. It's going up such behemoths and whatnot. But
I wouldn't have given it any of the ones that we've gone through. Yeah. But it should be in the rankings.
Nominated at least.
Yeah, it should be nominated. It's Star Wars, man.
Vito saying best performance, Ashley Johnson.
Yeah.
And I think that's everything from all
What
the guys.
What is that trailer, by the way? I saw it and haven't got round
So Isak started this, and Daniel posted it here. I think Isak started it. It's a trailer for a Wii game.
Okay.
And it's called Wii, but spelt correctly.
Yeah.
We Dare.
Okay.
It's the weirdest thing in the world. It's like a couple's Wii game.
Yeah.
And you play it and you do things while...
it came in as light mode. Did you see that? Was gross.
It just flicked over, I don't know what it is. But you get Wii controllers and you all start to play and you do things
like
with
the swing. Like here, will we swap my wives? What the fuck?
And the controller's like an apple and you have to try and like pretend to eat.
That's not real.
And then the two girls, obviously, together. This
isn't real.
This isn't real. This is staged.
Yeah.
It gets worse. Check this out. In order to make the person fly, put the controller in your butt, and you have to spank the person in order to make them go.
This is funny, but a little bit of me was like, this could be a real thing. Some suit could think this was a good idea. The hell.
Anyway, we're playing this on a stream one day.
Damn straight we are.
Damn straight we are. You got it, Isak. You got what you wanted. All right?
Yeah, you don't have to twist my arm. Don't threaten me with a good time.
You've struck gold. Okay. Yeah. You struck oil. Okay, it's fine.
Stop twisting my arm here, guys.
Anyway, they sent that in the Discord. It turns out we're playing it. I do want to quickly read out because Ben did put a lot of effort into this.
Yeah.
Thank you, bro, for writing this. He goes, okay, time for the awards. First of all, I want to say I'm excited for the awards this year. I just feel like it's going to be a big gaming event this year. And what did we really miss other than the lack of E3? So my predictions for the Game Awards are for...
That's actually a really good point. We missed E3 early on. Do you miss it anymore?
That's the thing. Summer Game Fest wasn't good.
No.
But looking back at it, retrospectively, 2020 vision, now it's like...
2020 what?
2020 vision.
I love how you've 2020 vision took your glasses off.
2020... No, that's not okay. I don't miss it.
Me neither.
Mate, I don't know what the deal is. Like, at the time, I was like, man, I miss E3. But that's because Summer Game Fest sucked so much.
Also, it has actually been a really good year for games.
Yes. It's almost like they knew it was coming. They were like, we best bring out bangers. Game of the year, The Last of Us Part 2 for me is an obvious winner.
Yeah.
It was just an incredible game, but it made me feel stuff I'd never felt in this form of media. And for me, that is what was just incredible.
100%.
Best narrative, Last of Us Part 2. Again, I don't think any of the other games come close to this in games narrative. Best direction, Ghost of Tsushima. I said this on Twitter, but I feel like this game's brought something new and fresh to the genre that can only be offered, that can often become stale. So that's why I think it should win. Cough, cough, AC, cough, cough.
We got to play a Kurosawa movie.
Yes.
Like,
never been done before.
This is why we think games are so good, because movies you passively experience, games you actively play. Even The Witcher, where you're like, even a game where it's kind of on rails, it's still you doing things.
Yeah.
So
that's one of the allures to Cyberpunk as well. Like, whilst Witcher was great, you was playing as a character through him as him. Yeah. With Cyberpunk, you are gonna be you. Yeah. In this world, and they're putting you in the world, which is going to be fantastic. Yeah. Best performance, Ashley Johnson. It's a tough choice between her and Laura Bailey, but Ashley's performance destroyed me, so it has to go to her.
Yeah.
Best music, I will give it to Ghost of Tsushima, but it isn't nominated. Isn't it nominated for a thing?
No, it's not.
Okay, isn't nominated, so I guess I'll give it to The Last of Us, since it's the only game that I have actually played, but I doubt it will win. You should have played Doom. That would have been really good.
It depends. Is it best score or best music? Because I think they're different. I think they're different.
That's the thing. It has good music in it, The Last of Us, but the music of Doom is more. That's the
score for Doom is so good and it fits so perfectly. But again, like Ben said, Ghost of Tsushima, it's actually really good. And the way I know that, I don't remember it. I don't notice it. I just know I love the game.
Yeah.
And because I never went back to look at it in that way. And there were there's no time where you sit down and listen to one of the characters play a song. I mean, Jim pulls out a flute here and there, but so nothing sticks out to me. Therefore, I know it was good, or I would have noticed it. If it wasn't good, I would have noticed it. So it must have been great.
D Claus also wrote in saying that he's counting down the days as well to Christmas. He goes, do you think that Jedi Fallen Order got screwed over badly? I don't think it's going to win any categories, and it's pretty shite. The game deserved better. Cheers, lads, have a great day. I think it could have won something, but going up against these games, it's not going to win.
Yeah, I don't think it could have won anything. And forgetting that my version sucked, because I Space Wizards with laser swords, right?
Yep.
And I did not vibe with Cal Kestis, pretty much any of the characters. The only character I did like was the chick from Doramir or whatever, is the Dathomir, the one that could teleport. Yeah. I liked her. Everybody else I didn't care for pretty much at all. No. I did like the apprentice that turned evil. She was interesting. I liked her. So the two characters I like, kind of villains in a sense. Yeah. But with this competition, does it win anything against Final Fantasy VII? I think not. Ghost of Tsushima? No. Ghost of Tsushima is just the ancient version minus magic of Star Wars, right? Does it win anything against The Last of Us 2? Not even close.
No.
Doom was more fun.
Yeah.
And
flawless.
Oh my god, flawless.
Yeah.
And it was flawless on my PlayStation before we cleaned it out. So it's not that Jedi Fallen Order was a bad game. And even talking to the music, it had one of the songs from a band that I really like, The Who, the Mongolian throat singing metal guys, which I did recognise, and I thought that was cool. But overall, it's good looking, but it's nowhere near as good looking as Ghost of Tsushima. My god, is that game pretty. So did it get an unfair shake? I think it should have been in the list. So yes, would it have won anything? No.
The only reason why I would bring it up is because Cyberpunk is in the same position now.
Yeah.
Granted, Cyberpunk, I reckon, is a different kettle of fish, is a different caliber of game.
I think
so it could withstand the test of time.
We're going to have the opposite thing. Next year it won't be included, and we're going to give it everything to Cyberpunk. We're going to say, Game of the Year should have been Cyberpunk, Best Score should have been Cyberpunk, Best Acting should have been Cyberpunk.
If God of War comes out, if Horizon Forbidden West comes out, and all the other games that we don't know about yet come out, it could fucking... this could be unfortunate.
That's also important why you need to play both like male and female Vs, because like best voice actor, it could be like female V.
True.
Right? Yeah, like female V could be better than like hypothetically Christopher Judge as Kratos. I doubt it. I doubt anyone could be, but
I think there was something that I read that either the male and female V in Polish are actually husband and wife.
That's cool.
Or it was something like Jackie and female V are husband and wife, or something like that.
Okay.
One of those two, or something like that. And I was like, that's cool, or whatever. Or maybe it was something like, let me have a little look at this, what it was. But it was like, Cyber.
So my prediction, guys, is that 2021 Cyberpunk isn't included and probably wins. I bet there'll be something that does better score. Will be my guess. It would do better score, and maybe you'll get a better director. But
it's way better.
No way.
The male V and Judy Alvarez in the Polish version are husband and wife.
I cannot wait for you to play a male V and not be able to bang her.
I need to play.
I hope she's gay.
I need to play in Polish with English subtitles and then get these two to bang. And be like, and then just tweet them and be like, "You guys hooked up. It's okay. Yeah. I got you guys hooked up in game.
Yeah. Don't worry. Like, it's totally okay.
So I brought to care you.
But I think this might be premarital."
Anyway, that was just so funny. I'll bring up right there.
That's cool. I love how you're like, it's even better I knew exactly what you were going to say.
Anyway, that's all of the topics that we had to cover.
Yeah, man. It's been a meaty one today.
It's been a meaty one. There was one thing I just wanted to answer right here, because as I mentioned at the beginning, Sean asked me, have you played Call of Duty multiplayer yet? And if so, if it's good. I've been debating whether or not to buy it, and I want to know if the multiplayer is good. Does it remind you of the good Black Ops days, or is it worse? It's good. From what I played, it's good. Yeah. Especially with the 3D audio. Do you remember when you bought a headset and you was like, I could hear everything?
Yeah, it's for the advantage, so you could hear footsteps.
Exactly. This is a whole nother level. I was in this like hangar level and whatnot, and I could hear people on the metal behind me, above me, everywhere.
That's sick.
And I felt like I was hacking. And I went on a tear, something like 28 and 9 or whatever it was. It was great.
Is it crossplay?
It is.
Imagine being on the Xbox and getting wall banged and being like, this guy's hacking, he's got wall hacks. And it turns out they're just on the PS5. That's pretty funny.
It was very good. I have heard from people like AKA Steam Machine that plays with us.
Yeah.
He goes, it's good in the beginning, wait until you get a few games under you, and then the skill-based matchmaking really hurts you. Apparently it really puts you in unfair situations and whatnot. Okay. I can't speak to that just yet, but it has been a thing in previous CODs.
Yeah.
It wasn't there when we were in the normal original Black Ops game.
The thing was, skill-based matchmaking seems to not... It's a good idea, but it never really pans out. What you would expect, because we used to play a lot of Domination, is that with skill-based matchmaking, the first few games, those are good.
High Quality Potato Adam just sent a tweet to us saying, bought some games to be ready for the Switch from PC Peasant to PS5 Master Race. Yeah, yes! Good man right here.
It's got our
picture in there.
So you would expect with actual skill-based matchmaking that the first few games you like maybe run into noobs or something and you can just stomp on people. And then by like game 50... your Dom games are going like, what's the point cap these days? Is it 150 or?
I think it's 150. No, 250. Isn't
250. It? Fine, whatever it is. Let's just say it's 100. You would expect it to be like 98 to 100. In skill-based matchmaking, it should be really close. It should be a hard-fought game, and everybody's going like 30 for 30. You know, so not one to maybe like 35 for 27 or something. You know, so it's really a tough game, but like the winning side just edges out. You know, or maybe they just had better communication and that was the deciding factor. What somehow seems to end up happening is you get put in with like Cloud9 or Energy who are like warming up and just pub stomping, and they wreck your shit all night long. And we know this is the case because we actually have played with people on those things and seen them go to MLG, and we got stomped by them.
Yep.
We've got stomped by guys who we ended up befriending, like Angie and all of those guys.
Yeah.
And that was supposed to have skill-based matchmaking. Like, it never seems to work. And it always seems that, like, let's say it's you and me playing, and it's 6 people per team. It'll be you and me, and then we get 4 window lickers.
Yeah.
Right? 4 guys that just...
It's
their granddad's first game, and the kid doesn't care about their stats. That, you know, like...
It's their granddad's first game.
Right. That's who we seem to get teamed with. And on the other side, it's like Ninja and Tim the Tapman and Nick Merckx all getting ready to, like, stream, and they want to be warm before they, like, turn it on, so their warm-up game is really good, you know? Like, we get stomped by it. I don't know what we're in that range. But that happened in Overwatch.
Yeah.
I know we're supposed to be wrapping this up.
No, it's okay.
Frick you guys.
It's a gaming
I
podcast.
don't care about your free time.
Your time doesn't mean anything to
it's
us.
meaningless to us. And you can change that for as little as $1 a month.
Yes.
Patreon.com/conversation.
Give us money to tell us all to shut up.
Back when we were playing Overwatch, me and Rob ended up playing a lot more because you moved to... I can't remember what you moved to. Destiny.
Destiny, yep. Sunk lots of hours into that.
For one, I was a healer main, support main, which was at the time early on was somewhat rare. It was Lucio, but still, so not like a heavy healer, but a good Lucio you could really pull some weight. Yeah. He switched to PC, and on a brand new account, went from we were platinum players, and we ended up getting bumped down to gold. We just could not win. Yeah. He took all his same knowledge, went to PC, and was instantly diamond. And ended up closing in on like whatever was above diamond, and it was just because for whatever reason his matchmaking was more in his benefit. Now to talk on this. I'm probably to talk. It's hard to because not many people play Overwatch anymore.
Not anymore, yeah.
But like I think gold and silver is about average, about like a 1KD. Let's say if you're on COD. Yeah. I'm above that, but not by much. Like I'm not MLG. I'm not that good. Even on my best days, I was never that good. I could have maybe held my own a rung below that as a support player, right? As the guy that caps flags, not as a slayer or any of that stuff.
It wasn't an anchor.
On my best day.
Yeah.
And I knew I was a platinum player, and I could have hung at diamond with a diamond team. And I wouldn't have pulled them down, let's say that, right?
You would have given them enough healing every now and again.
I would have needed them to support me to stay in diamond.
Yeah.
But I could have stayed there. And they would have been happy to have me in whatever role I was playing for that role, which probably would have been support. I don't mind playing support roles. On console, with the skill-based matchmaking, I got bumped down from plat to low gold and dipped into silver and then back into gold. Like, it does not work for some reason on console. Yeah. So I'm sad to hear, actually. I would rather have it random. I'd rather have those swings of getting, stomping, getting stomped, stomping, getting stomped. Tough game, getting, stomping. Tough game, getting stomped. Smashing kids. Like, I think that's better.
It was always, there was that one COD, I can't remember which one it was, but there was somebody got the code for what the console connection questions are.
Yeah.
And it was always
I remember that.
The very first comment was like, what your level is, what your skill number is, what your ratio is, stuff like that. And then right at the end, it would be internet connection.
Yeah.
And I was like, that should be the first one. Yeah. Internet connection should be the first thing to check, and then worry about all the other nonsense behind it.
It was their hierarchy of lists. Yeah. The last one was internet connection, but that internet connection, as in how...
Your ping between
servers. Yeah. Or systems, because I think that one was P2P, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Someone was host.
We didn't have that many. We didn't have dedicated servers until like really late on. And whatnot. Anyway, that was always what really annoyed me. But yeah.
I want to get the new blobs.
It is fun, and as I said, with that 3D audio, it's fucking fantastic. And I actually haven't turned off the triggers yet.
Haven't you?
I haven't. The thing is that when I went into it, could we turn off one trigger and not the other? Or was it both of them and that's it?
I feel like it was ADS and...
Because I remember...
So you want to turn off the ADS and keep the shooting?
Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't mind the shooting one, but I don't like the ADS. And
the ADS is bad.
It's stupid. I don't get it.
I really struggled on stream with that, yeah.
And I played that one game and I didn't turn it off because it was the way it was from the campaign.
Yeah.
And I was fine for me. I guess I just enjoyed it that moment, whatever it was. But yeah, I like it. I like it. It's a good game.
I would get it if I could get it on PS4 prices. I'm not going to pay 70 quid for a game that I know I'm not getting 70 quid's worth of. I'm not getting the ray trace. I'm not getting 60 FPS. I'm not getting the connection. Yeah, fuck that. But if it comes up, I was going to say on CEX, if it comes up on Amazon pre-owned for like 40 quid, I would get it. I would be interested to play the campaign and see what they do with it. I've actually been getting a Zombies Crave.
Yeah.
I think that could be a lot of fun. But
I think it's exclusive on PS5, PlayStation as well. I'm
not playing it I'm not going to play it if I have to pay PS5 prices and I'm not getting it PS5 performance. So allow that.
Bro.
Yeah.
All right,
got another sub.
I was going to say we're at 491 subs.
Yeah,
with 9 subs from 500.
That's pretty good. How old is this channel? Like 3 months old? 4 months old? No, it's probably older than that.
It's probably a bit older than that. Let's
go to just videos first to upload.
Oh yeah, that's true. Video.
It'd be interesting to see that.
How do I filter it? Is it this
filter,
way?
Title, views, more description. Go to our channel.
Okay.
That reminds me, I might do that video about what we need to know about Cyberpunk, but instead of making it like an hour long, I'll try to shoot for under 10 minutes.
Okay.
So like, no, that's
why I pressed oldest.
You did, yeah. 7 months.
7 months.
What? It's not 7. Is it?
Apparently.
Go to current views. Okay. So we averaged when we first started it, say 50 views overall.
Yeah.
What are we at now?
I think we're like over like 200.
Go to oldest.
Yeah, I should
Newest,
do that. I'm just scrolling like that's going to be the easy way to do it.
Stupid idiot. Yeah.
So we get to like between like the 200 to 300, 400, 500.
And if you notice, similar views to what the main channel, what used to be the main channel, was getting. So
the quality is much better.
Yeah.
Here. Anyway, guys, this has been a very long podcast. We should end it pretty soon.
Nah, let's keep going.
These guys are going to want to listen to us forever.
What's your favourite first console? What's your best gaming memory? Who was the first game character you fapped to?
Thank you, everybody, for joining us for this episode. As we said, this episode, we're going to work out and you'll see how it comes out anyway. But the next episode is going to be right around when Cyberpunk comes out. Yeah. We're not going to talk Cyberpunk then, but the Monday afterwards, we are going to record a first impression, spoiler-free, how we're feeling about the Cyberpunk dedicated episode to go up. So if you guys want to write in for stuff like that. We'll send you another reminder. Go on.
Question for you and maybe you gamers. We had planned or considered that I would either record or stream no day one patch Cyberpunk.
Oof.
Now, I'm willing to do it and play up until Monday, but it could be a train wreck without that patch. I'm willing to do it because it will be funny.
I think you're gonna.
And it won't hurt my love for the game because I know I'm doing it.
You're doing it,
right? Especially if I know that you're saying yours is flawless, for example, right? That all I have to do is plug the Ethernet cable in.
And it'd be great.
Maybe. But that will mean my first impressions aren't really first impressions. So we need to discuss this.
I think first day. First day of you just spending like 2 hours playing the game and then it's just like, my God, I'm flying. What's going on? Jackie, get back here. I can't interact with you.
I can stream it, can't I?
Yeah, once it's out, it's fine.
Yeah.
And you can see the update coming up and you can just hit pause on the update. Don't let it finish.
I was going to take the Ethernet cable out of the PlayStation.
True.
And just put the disc in.
Yeah, you don't need it You don't need it in the console to actually play to stream. This needs to happen. At least the first day. I don't want to subject you to more than that, but at least the first day.
So I'm considering streaming it as well, but the problem is you can.
It'd be good to talk about it as well on that show.
The issue is, do I stream it?
Yeah.
And like, does anybody want to watch Cyberpunk with no patch? No patched Cyberpunk? I don't think anyone does.
I think it'd be fun. I think
it would be hilarious.
Let us know, guys. I mean, this is at the end of the podcast, so only the hardcore guys are going to answer it. But we can put a tweet out there as well. We can put some feelers out there and see what people think.
We could even upload a small video and take it down after a couple of days. Also, look, we do have a Twitch channel that we don't use. True. I could maybe chuck it on there instead of the main channel.
Maybe.
I mean, we'll see.
We'll see.
But so, I will have two first impressions. I'm willing to do it, man. I'm totally willing to do it.
I really like the sound of it. Please, this sounds really good.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'm going to do it. First day. So that Thursday,
Yeah.
I will. Yeah.
There we go. All right, guys. We'll catch you all in the next one. We'll probably see you in Night City in the next episode.
Yeah.
I'll catch you
next time.
bro.